I'm oddly attracted to black women a lot too.
Yeah,
Mostly because like I mean,
it's gonna be a weird segue. This is not how I expected.
Well,
this show
like,
to
just
go.
for traditionally black women are strong women.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
well, y'all are the reason why.
Facts.
Yeah. You gotta keep that in mind. You gotta keep that in mind. You know, a horse is fast because you train a horse to be fast. A black woman is strong because y'all put through the most shit. Jesus Christ. Yeah, y'all put black women through more shit than I think anybody else deserves.
I don't know. He said Jesus Christ.
I'm unloading the meat. I'm loading the meat. I'm unloading the meat. I'm loading the meat. I'm unloading the meat. I'm loading the meat. I'm unloading the meat. I don't even know what it means, what it is, what it is, what it is, what it is, what it is. Hey, I'm unloading the meat. I'm loading the meat. I'm unloading the meat. I'm loading the meat. I'm unloading the meat. I'm loading the meat.
This episode of Unloading Meat is not brought to you by your favorite language learning app such as Duolingo, but it could be. It really could be. Guys, Duolingo is amazing, and if you don't take your lessons, nothing will happen to my family, right? Duolingo, please. Guys, please use the app, please. I miss my kids. I miss my kids. All right, guys. Welcome to a next episode of Unloading Meat. I am Jared Ralphie Allen, the only stand-up comedian with white gravy with a little dash of pepper in his veins. On the couch today, we have one of the co-founders of the Red Gothic Comedy Collective. Please welcome the one, the only, ThunderWof. What's up, ThunderWof?
I've never done that before.
Was clever. I see what you did there.
Yeah,
What's up, man?
It's good to see you.
Welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is a super awesome spot. I'm really happy that you're in front of the Power Rangers so I can look at them and not just joking. No, I'm super excited. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, man. I also wanted to point out I dressed for the occasion for the guests. Because for those that don't know, I met this man at a wedding roast or wedding reception / roast of our good friends Castro and Joe Miller. Yep. Shout out to Castro and Joe Miller. Release the fucking footage.
Please do.
Yeah, I shot that shit in 4K. And I released it to them like 3 months ago. They still haven't put it out. Wow. Fuckers, put it out. It's some good shit. But anyway.
If he can put out the rap battles, he can put out the reception.
Word.
Yeah.
But no, I met you there, and we had a great time there. I think it was a hilarious time roasting everybody. And I dressed for the occasion because at that location, you decided to learn a specific language for me, right?
I did. I learned how to speak Huttese. I don't have retained so much of it now just because not so many people can speak it with me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I decided to be
including this guy. I don't know it either, even though I look like I do.
Yeah, no, I decided to be a total slimo. That means slime ball. Yeah, so I decided to be a slime ball and learn Huttese. I don't think I've told you why I decided to roast you because for those who don't know, at the roast, I mostly focused all of my jokes specifically on the couple.
Yeah.
Except for the one joke specifically for you.
Yeah.
And it's not like it was a fat shaming joke or a fat hating joke, but it was because my profile picture on Facebook is Kobe Bryant. And when I messaged the group, you had said, "Oh, I thought Kobe Bryant had already been roasted."
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And I take Kobe Bryant jokes very personal and was like, I didn't know Jared at the time. And we were in a group chat.
Shit just got real.
Yeah,
Shit just got real.
Fuck him. I was like, yo, I'm about to roast the fuck out of him. So, yeah, that's Jared finding out that I only learned Huttese to roast him, specifically just him, at a roast for other people, just because he made one Kobe Bryant joke. So, future lesson for those out there, if you make a Kobe Bryant joke, I will go to the extent of the internet and practice. And this is all within one day, by the way. Like, I think Jared made the joke at maybe 12 o'clock that afternoon. By 12:30, I knew how to say at least 5 things in Huttese. Yeah, so fun fact for you to know why I learned Huttese was just because you made a Kobe Bryant joke.
Do you think whenever the helicopter crashed,
don't do
it splattered yellow and purple everywhere?
No, it splattered the lives of 4 people.
Oh, okay.
I cried when Kobe died. Like I'm like a real.
Oh, so you're
Kobe.
saying his daughter wasn't a basketball fan?
Jesus Christ, Jared, I'm not gonna laugh at Kobe jokes. Like
you are already on camera.
Yes.
Welcome to Unloading Meat, where we make fun of dead people.
Where Jared makes fun. ThunderWof is on the record letting everyone know I will never make a Kobe Bryant joke. ever. I
Through the magic of editing? No.
Oh yeah. I guess you can AI voice it now. Yeah, I guess that's the point. You only need like 10 minutes of like my audio, and now bam, you can like.
It's like every movie when there's a hostage, you go, keep him on the line for 10 minutes.
Oh no,
keep him talking. Keep him talking.
No, when I coached speech and debate, so we used to use Kobe Bryant as our team inspiration before the off season.
Oh,
like for state, regionals, districts, national stuff like that.
Before you guys decided to chop it up.
You're funny.
I mean, you were debating.
Touche.
What are you implying about? I wasn't referencing anything with Kobe Bryant and dying in a helicopter crash.
Nope.
Why would you make that collection?
I can tell Jared is not a sports fan.
No, wrestling.
Okay, that's fair. Who's your? Do you make Chris Benoit jokes?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
What's your favorite Chris Benoit joke? I got to see Eddie Guerrero before he died. That was cool.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. When he came to Tulsa, like years and years ago, I saw the car and everything.
I'm just saying, like, that was a rough time to be endorsed by CrossFit.
Yeah.
Or a Total Gym or anything, because he hung himself with the weight equipment.
Jesus Christ. That one I can laugh at. Eddie Guerrero, definitely R.I.P.
Hey, at least you know he was religious, because before he killed his kid and his wife, he put a Bible beside each one of them.
Yeah, hey, the last name wasn't Jericho for a reason, you know? That's horrible.
That was his friend.
Oh, wait, I thought Chris Jericho killed his wife and kid.
No,
right?
Chris Jericho's still wrestling.
Oh, no, Chris Benoit.
Chris Benoit.
Right,
yeah.
Benoit. Yeah, that's right.
Fuck the French.
Yep. Jesus Christ.
He's Canadian French. That's only half.
It's only half. Yeah,
That's
hilarious.
Is it sad that I can actually, like, spit out the hometown of all those wrestlers? It's memorized to me.
Oh, like
because of the announcers.
I'm kind of impressed.
Chris Benoit, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada would be him.
Yeah.
Jericho would be Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Huh.
Like, that's how I know. That's how you teach geography to fucking adolescent boys. You get them into fucking wrestling and you teach them about Bret Hart.
That's funny as fuck. Can you do that for like any wrestling?
Pretty much.
Where's John Cena from?
West Newbury, Massachusetts.
Get the fuck out. Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Miami, Florida. That's Build. He's also from Hawaii and Pennsylvania.
I'll throw a curveball at you.
Okay.
Can you tell me where Rey Mysterio's from?
He San Diego.
Is your phone in front of you?
It's over here off.
Okay, I'm watching you.
I like this game.
Oh, where's the Great Khali from?
India. It would be I'm bringing up Ghana, West Africa. That's Kofi. What did they bill him as? Something India. I honestly can't remember the name of the city.
I'm still
Karot or something India. It was something like that.
The fact that you took a shot in the dark like that.
Yeah, I know it's Bangladesh, maybe.
Okay,
it might be Bangladesh.
I think those are two separate places, right?
Well, Bangladesh is in India, right?
No, I think
I thought
it's a whole different country.
Okay,
because you could be like Bangladeshi or you could be Indian.
Okay, yeah, true.
But they are very close to each other.
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
That's a Great Khali. That's a hard one. Yeah.
Oh, okay. At least I got that one. I'll take that.
No, Punjab. He's Punjabi.
He's Punjabi. Oh,
Punjabi, India. That's it. That was it. Punjabi, India.
Okay. What about? I'm trying to think.
I like this game. I'm still going. I got my streak.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What's the real big dude? I don't know how long he was in the league, but
Big Show?
No, that's too easy.
That's Tampa.
Rikishi.
Okay.
Can you do Rikishi? I don't even know what his ethnic background is. That's why
Samoa.
That makes sense. Okay, I'll take Samoa. You don't have to be specific.
Because they would say the Isle of Samoa.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. Wow, that is a really good talent to have, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow. I have a friend. He can name all. I don't know if he can do all 1,000, but he can do like 999 songs from the Dark Soul album.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, like when I first tried comedy, I had this stupid thing, and it would never work on stage.
Yeah.
Maybe just to be fucking embarrassing, like cringy.
Yeah.
But at one time, I memorized the Nations of the World from Yakko.
That's hilarious.
The Maniacs.
Yeah.
United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru. I'd have to remember the whole thing.
Enough. That's good enough. Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, I had that whole thing memorized for a while.
So what was the bit? Was it just you singing?
It was just that's like an encore thing. I was just like
hilarious.
just something to do at the end.
Yeah. No, that's funny. I like it. The fact that you put that.
I never was able to figure it out. I want to fucking train to do this, and then it's like, I never did.
Have you ever seen the meme videos that use it?
No.
Where it's like how many countries have like dropped a nuclear bomb, and it's like Yakko. Yeah, it's like Yakko. He's like United States, and then it ends the video.
I like that.
Yeah, then another one's like, how many countries has the United States like destroyed? And it goes through like Yakko rapping them all because they've like edited out like the countries that it hasn't happened to. Yeah, like or like countries that Britain has colonized, and it's like Yakko like India, Africa. Like he goes through like all these different countries.
India, Africa.
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't say Africa's not a country, but yeah, you get what I'm saying. Yeah.
Depends on what white person you ask.
Exactly. Yeah, that's funny as shit. Yeah, no, if you get the chance, I would say like the Yakko videos for like, countries that Yakko something, whatever. It's a whole list of them. It's hilarious. Oh, that's funny though.
Thanks, man. I don't know. I love pulling those deep cut like references and stuff like that. That's part of my humor. Obviously, like this kind of shit.
For sure, yeah.
One
that's
of my
why I was shocked you didn't know Huttese.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll send you some links.
I'm only part Huttese on my mother's side.
That's. You live in Bartlesville though. Like you would have to be. You got to be in a mansion if you're part of the Hutts, right? Because they're all rich.
Although,
unless you're telling us something we don't know.
Okay.
In that case, we can rob.
I'm not rich.
Oh, okay.
It's a good way to... everything's in this fucking studio. I'm caught for broke, man.
I'm dead. Not part of the Hutt crime syndicate.
How funny would it be? So, like, I'm making my kitchen into a Star Wars kitchen.
Okay.
And I want to. There's a vinyl you can get, and it makes your front door of your fridge look like Han Solo and Carbonite.
Oh, that's pretty.
And I was like, how funny would that been to have in my fridge, and you walk in and start doing Huttese.
Oh, that's funny. I think the problem you would have is like if you have a lover come over and they're not like used to it.
Yeah.
And then in the middle of the night they go to the refrigerator, they probably scare the shit out of them.
Well, do you watch South Park?
Did
you ever see like the Kanye stuff where like he thinks Kim Kardashian's a hobbit?
No.
They keep referring to Kim Kardashian like a hobbit, and like he has to keep calling her and like, bitch, you not a hobbit? He's like, my lady is not a hobbit, even though she lives in a room underneath the floor, and she has little feet, and she smokes from a corncob pipe.
Oh my
like he just keeps doing that shit.
I'm screaming.
I'm just like thinking of that, like, man, you're gonna keep making these Huttese jokes about me, and I'm gonna be like, I'm not part Hutt, and I'm gonna have a fucking like Han Solo and Carbonite in my fucking kitchen.
Have to start defending yourself in public. I am not a Huttese. I am not.
Start eating fucking things from the fucking like water jar, like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, next thing you know, I walk in, there's like 3 women in brawls and chains. Yeah. You'd be like, wow, you took the Hutt thing very serious.
That's called divorce.
That's called. Oh, man.
Available on Grindr. No.
Dead. I love that. No, happy Pride Month.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
This will probably come out in like 3 months, so Pride's probably dead.
Oh, well, at this time.
At least at all the fucking retailers around nationwide.
Hey, that's true.
Because a month after Pride, they're like, okay, we got to take this shit down. We're getting death threats.
Right. Yeah, I'm dead. No, I thought it was interesting, like when you told me, like, I think you said it was Isaiah. I don't know if his episode comes before or after this one, but you had told me like Isaiah had asked about you being bi. And I was like, that's such like a cishead question, right? So tell me, what's it like to fuck 2 different genders? Like, that's such a cishead question, right? Like that just sounds like the perfect question from a cis man. Right?
Still lonely.
Right. Like it doesn't mean any difference. You just love extra people. Like that's such a cishead question to me. When you told me that, I was like, wow. Like I was just thinking to myself at home, like I pondered this shit, right? And I was like, what information did he gather from it? Like
it's like that guy that came up to me and you at the Rose Lounge.
Yeah.
Do you remember that conversation?
Yeah, fucking bro.
Dude, it's ingrained in my fucking brain now, that exact words. Because like me and you had a conversation about our sets.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, we had the Rose Lounge. Me and him were at the Rose Lounge a couple weeks ago. And great set, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. You too.
I was coming up to the bar after him, or coming up to you at the bar. And we're just chatting. This guy comes up to us and he was like, hey man, just want to tell you, great set, loved your shit. Didn't like all the gay shit though. I'm not gay. I don't fuck with gay shit. I got 2 sons. They're not gay. Though, if one of them turned out to be gay, I might fuck with gay shit. But as it stands, I don't fuck with gay shit. And he just tells me that, like, I'm just like,
face to face.
What do you want me to do with that information? Like, okay.
You know what's crazy? Here's the thing. Like, so last night, I did a show at Lefty's before I leave out of town Friday.
Yeah.
And it was so fun. Like so many people came, and there's a guy named Mr. Greenwood himself, Tony Williams, super amazing guy. If you're like trying to get involved with like the Greenwood scene, he's a person to really like get in contact with. Awesome guy. And I told him, I was like, man, the other day I did a show out in Broken Arrow, and this white guy came up, and he was like, oh, I'm friends with Tony. And I told Tony, and Tony's like, I don't know who you're talking about. And I was like, word. So my other friend Azim, who was at the show, came, and Azim was like, yo, Azim, tell Tony about
Was he the dude with the dreads?
No, that's Mike. That's
okay.
Mike is a DJ in Tulsa. DJ Sir Mike. So if you're ever out and about and you're like downtown, DJ Sir Mike DJs a lot, especially you go to Fazlers or anything like that.
Sorry to like squirrel, but did Mike like my joke about him?
He did. Yo, he found it funny. Yeah, no. We're an open crowd. You're
good.
Cool. Yeah. No, I make my friends more comfortable than y'all do, so it's all good. Yeah, I call half my friends cutie pies. They hate it.
I just said that he looked like I loved him as the breakdance fighter in Zoolander.
Yeah. I think it was like after that you had called people with dreads cute or something like that. And so we looked at him and we was like, oh, okay, like he might be shooting a little shot at you. Yeah, we were cracking up. But no, you were fine. That was hilarious. But yeah, like we were talking to Tony and I told Tony about the guy. And I told him, I was like, yeah, he said it. He told us his name was Craig. And then he told Peter Bedgood, another cool comedian friend of ours, that his name was
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Right. So we were like, what the fuck? So like we were talking to Tony last night. And we're explaining this guy to Tony. And Tony's like, oh, his name is And we're like, what? And he shows us on Facebook. Bam, there he is. And we're like, yeah, that's the dude right there.
Yeah.
Now, for you to know this, because I didn't tell you this story because we haven't talked since that day.
Yeah.
He came up to me maybe like after your set or after Sweet Titty's set.
Okay.
Well, Sweet Titties was first. Sweet Titties, I think, was first.
Yeah.
So it had to be either after your set or maybe after Steven. I think it was after Steven. And I went to Steven Cryer, super good comedian as well.
So Sweet Titties, Adam Smith.
Yeah, Sweet Titties is fucking hilarious. I fucking love Sweet Titties.
I know.
Sweet Titties is like on the verge of like, I feel like he's just gonna drop the N-word one day and be like, oh, my bad. And we're just gonna like, I don't know.
That was my roast for him. I said, dude, you look like like your overall demeanor and look makes me uncomfortable anytime you start the word with the letter N.
Yes, dead ass. That is a very accurate way to describe it. That's hilarious. Yeah. So, but I had to go to my car to get something, and the dude comes out from the back, and this is what the man said. This isn't like what I'm saying. The dude was like, man, these other comedians aren't funny. If you're not funny, I'm gonna beat your ass. And I was like, you're not beating my ass. Like, one, I'm gonna be funny, but two, like my gang's inside.
Yeah.
He was like, well, they can't get you from out here. I was like, you think I won't scream? Like, bro, like
what the fuck, man? Like, what kind of answer is that?
I was like, bro, I was a fucking alto back in the day, like 5th grade, baby. I was in the first row, like no fucking way. I hit this hoe.
Soprano.
So he was like, yeah, bro, you better be funny. I was like, okay. He was like, Tony told me a lot about you, which now is even funnier that Tony was like, yeah, I never talked to that dude about you.
Yeah.
So go inside, do the sec, whatever, show's over. And when he came to talk to you, I had like walked away for a second, then I came back and he came up to me. And I shit you not, he had a wad of cash, like probably about like that thick, right? I guess I'll tell like that to the camera to see like that much cash. And he starts like unrolling it. And it's like hundreds, lots of hundreds.
Yeah.
And it's like a few 50s. Then it's to 20s. And then he takes out a single $10 bill, like the only $10 bill in this wad, and hands it to me. And was like, you know, I'm all about reparations, so don't say I never did anything.
Oh my God.
And I was like,
oh.
I was like, hey, yo. But I was like, yo, I got a tip. Like, it's the weirdest thing, right?
Did you hear what he did the next night?
No.
So he came out to Tulsa Comedy Club the next night.
Oh, shit.
And he sat front row. And I did my set, and so like, I don't know if you're the similar kind of person, but like, when I do a show versus an open mic, I'm trying out new shit. I'm not gonna do my same stuff.
Yeah.
So like, I was trying all new shit the next night. It was the following night from Rose. So I had all new shit, and he comes up to me as I'm walking down the stage, and he's like, bro, why didn't you do that shit last night? That was so much funnier. And there was no gay stuff in it. There was no like, so that's why he liked it.
That's what it was. You should have done the gay shit, bro.
So
keep that gay shit at home.
He keeps heckling throughout the night. And Roscoe and them, and like Nick Danks was there. So Nick was like warning Roscoe, hey, this is the guy from last night. Be warned.
Yeah.
So Roscoe has the idea at the end of the night, hey, this guy's been heckling all night. He wants to talk so much. Let's get him on stage. So Roscoe gives him a mic and gets him on stage and tells all the comedians to sit front row, we're going to heckle this dude.
Yeah.
In theory, maybe a good idea.
Oh, fuck no. That dude was built tough, bro. He's built different.
But in hindsight, you don't give a drunk guy that doesn't really know about rules the mic.
Right.
And he just went on this fucking rant, and I'm like, well, nobody could roast him because he wouldn't shut the fuck up. And then he called me a faggot on stage with a mic, and then Tulsa Comedy Club cut his fucking mic, and they kicked him out and banned him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Roscoe was like, this is the first time in like 4 years where I've never had to kick somebody off stage, and we had to cut his mic and take him out of the stage.
That's crazy.
And the thing is, like, I didn't even hear the word faggot. I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
I even made a post. I was like, dude, to the guy that called me the F word on stage, like, I didn't even hear you. I was more insulted that you didn't shut the fuck up so I could get my roast in.
Yeah.
I was going to say, how the fuck did you afford bail on January 6th?
Fucking screwed me. No, like, the funniest thing is, like, he, like, at the show at Rose Lounge, he heckled all of y'all. Like, he didn't really fuck with me too much.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's just because, like, maybe I was the only black one. Maybe he did have some kind of sincerity. I don't know. But yeah, like, the way he fucked with, like, especially like you And Peter, like, I was like, Jesus Christ, bro.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, for
chill.
those that don't know that weren't on the show, and like, I hope we can get the footage somehow. Somebody recorded it, but like, it got so bad that Peter Bedgood, who's a amazingly talented
Fucking
musician
veteran.
and veteran comedian,
Yeah.
led the entire crowd in a song called "Shut the Fuck Up, Jeremiah," and everybody was clapping on, telling this dude to shut the fuck up, and he still wouldn't get the picture. He thought it was just a funny time.
Yeah, no, and that's why I was like, well, you say that about Roscoe. I'm like, yeah, no, that shit wouldn't work on him, bro.
Yeah, and then like apparently at Rose Lounge, Missy tried to pull him outside, was telling him like, "Hey, you shouldn't be heckling." He goes, "No, they want a fucking crowd." She's like, "No, you don't need to be doing this shit." And then like he didn't get the picture, so she had to pull somebody else. Like she pulled like Spencer Mills out there, like, "Hey, dude, stop!" Like, she was, like so like people were telling this dude stop for 2 days, and then he got banned from Tulsa County Club.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, so fuck that guy.
Yeah, no, fuck that guy for sure.
Hope
for
he gets
sure.
AIDS. Not the Magic Johnson AIDS, like the Freddie
Unless
Mercury
he gives
AIDS.
me like $10 every time, then I'm cool. You know,
I think. Okay, I'm not going to comment on reparations on Unloading Meat.
you know,
I'm not that guy.
You know, the conversation that always happens around reparations is always like, how do they come back? Listen, bit by bit is okay.
Actually, I do have I mean, you heard my bit about reparations.
Yeah.
That's how I ended my set.
That's true. You did, yeah. No, I'm good for it. I'm good for it.
So my name on Grindr should be reparations. The amount of black men that I'll let.
Oh my god. You say it as if like you're the number one target for it, though. I'm just kidding.
You haven't been on Grindr.
Oh yeah, you know that's
I'm a
actually
catch.
okay. You know what? I'm screaming. You know, I am curious though. Like, hear me out, all right? And
Okay.
this might sound fucked up, and I hope this doesn't come off as like too
No.
fucked up. Like, with
You're canceled.
if I am. Do you have a sound effect for cancel?
I just have,
Gay!
That's funny.
and then I have a couple. I have like these programming. I have you son of a.
I like that.
And then if we get really sexy. And then
Wow.
I always have Trump.
Wrong.
Just a wrong.
That's a good one.
And then I always end my shows. If anybody stays after my logo at the very end, I always have a little thing of.
Bye. Have a great time.
These are good. I
Yeah.
like these. These are good sounds.
Yeah.
But no, my question was gonna be like,
Sorry.
no, you're
Squirreled.
good. You're good. I'm always curious. Like, you know how they always have like the thing about like with like black men love big white girls.
Mhm.
Is the same thing like in the gay world? Like, do black men love big gay white guys or bi white guys? Huh? Word. Hey, I'm happy for you. Like, seriously. You know, it's really wild. I am only attracted to bi women apparently.
Really?
Yeah. Something about like the little masculine energy that comes with a lady, like being able to call like my girlfriend bro. It's pretty cool.
So real talk. I'm oddly attracted to black women a lot too.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah.
mostly because like I mean
It's gonna be a weird segue. This is
yeah.
not how I expected
well,
this
like
show to
just
go.
for traditionally black women are strong women.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
well, y'all are the reason why.
facts.
Yeah, gotta keep
Facts.
that in mind. You gotta keep that in mind. You know, a horse is fast because you train a horse to be fast. So black women are strong because y'all put through the most shit. Jesus Christ. Yeah, y'all put black women through more shit than I think anybody else deserves.
I don't know. He said Jesus Christ. Literal Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but
And see, my joke wasn't even that bad about Jesus. Okay, I don't even remember the full. I remember the bones of it.
yeah,
Like it was basically like, what if because Jesus was a carpenter? What if he's up on the cross and then he gets a splinter and he's pissed?
yeah. No, I thought that was hilarious. Like, I
Yeah.
think because
Just like
yours is the one that talks about like the type of wood, right?
Yeah.
yeah. That shit's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's
Like,
not making fun of Jesus at all. It's more
Yeah,
like he's
no.
like, God damn it, who designed this? Like,
yeah, like this is a bad cross. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's hilarious. Like, I think for me, I don't necessarily believe like, and I say this not to like diss other comedians,
Yeah.
or like anything.
this
rude.
is a safe space.
I believe comedy doesn't really have like a certain amount of rules to it.
No,
Right?
agreed.
As far as like what you write, how you write it, I think the only thing I would say as far as like,
Could you move it just a little bit
oh
closer
yeah,
to your
for
chest?
sure.
Like there. That's perfect.
Perfect. The thing I would say though, as far as like a comedian and more as like an audience member, the one thing I'm starting to get kind of annoyed with is how often do you go to Cellar?
So every other weekend I'm trying to, because I have my kids every other weekend.
Okay, so like Cellar Dweller is a local bar here in Tulsa.
Yeah.
They have a great open mic hosted by JB Watkins and Lacey Rains, who's my comedy writing
Yeah,
partner.
shout out both of them.
Yeah.
They're actually both scheduled on the show too.
Oh hell yeah! But one thing that like I'm starting to get annoyed is I'm getting tired of so many cis men having so many takes on abortion and women's rights.
Yeah.
And I, personally, myself, I'm not a big fan of like the sexual harassment, sexual assault jokes either, because I'm just like, yo,
Yeah.
people like live through that shit, you know. Now that being said, I do enjoy a good like joke that can teeter the line.
Yeah.
But if it's going for like straight shock every time, it's hard for me to like as an audience member enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say that you shouldn't do those jokes because it might not target for me, but it might target for someone else.
So like agreed. So like, and we've talked on this podcast before. Like,
Yeah.
I think in general, most of us got into comedy because we couldn't really do the fucking 9 to 5.
For sure.
Or like we're doing it right now to get through comedy because like our main gig is like we
Yeah.
struggle in that kind of world because like we're more like the artistic or the creatives kind of stuff like that. And
Right.
sometimes that doesn't gel well with the 9 to 5. Sometimes their structure.
Right.
But getting back with that, it's hard for me to justify so many fucking rules on something that should be freedom.
Yeah.
And now there are things like the Looney Bin has the rules of like, hey, don't drop the F-bomb because like, you know, they're giving you a live mic before they go to their paid customers and their paid shows. So like
Right.
they don't know anybody to trust. And like, you know, so I can kind of understand that a little bit.
Yeah.
But then there's the things of like, yeah, I don't want people roasting. And I'm like, okay, I get that. But like, that's part of like, that's kind of my humor. That's
sure.
like, that's my like, so like, do you watch Kill Tony?
No.
Okay, there's a comedian on there named David Lucas.
Okay.
David,
oh yeah, I know David Lucas.
David
Yeah,
Lucas
yeah.
is like a guy that really fucking inspires
The
me.
big dude, right?
Yeah,
Funny as fuck. Yeah.
he's funny as fuck, and like I love crowd working, improv, and I just love to kind of go up there and just have fun,
Yeah.
you know. And like I like how you're doing with your numbers. I can see you in your set too.
Yeah.
You like to have a little bit more spontaneity and creativity to it, a little
For
bit more.
sure. My thing about my sets, and I don't know if you've seen me enough, but like none of my sets are ever the same.
Yeah,
Because I never know what jokes like. The way I do sets is I have like 100 and something jokes on my phone, and I just let people choose what jokes they want.
dude,
to hear from
you're
the
so original. I gotta say, I love your sets. I love your everything about your setup and everything. There's like your presentation with you sitting down, like you've nailed it. You've nailed the presentation and stage presence.
I appreciate it. Yeah, no, and I say this like, you know, and I know I do stand up, but I don't necessarily consider, like I was talking to a friend of mine earlier about this. I don't necessarily consider myself a stand up comic, not because I sit,
Yeah.
but I don't consider myself.
That was good.
Thank you. I don't consider myself a stand up or a comedian really because I feel as if it boxes me in a little too much. Is that me?
No, I have a bonus or spare phone over here and it's dying. I forgot to turn it off.
Oh, you're Gucci. No, like I don't see myself as like, so to say, a comedian.
Yeah.
I see myself as like an artist, the way I do an art form or something like that.
Yeah.
So as far as like when it comes to, like I said, when it comes to the rules of things, I think there's just like, and like I said, for me it's different because I just kind of look at doing comedy in a different way.
Yeah.
I try to look at it more as a fan than I do as like a performer.
Well, and like my thing is like I'm still trying to find my voice and so like find out what my thing is. You know, I'm still new to this. I have like no ego with my stuff. Like I said, I started full time in January really with this.
For sure.
I try to really go in there with no ego and be very humble, but at the same time, I know that I'm getting better and I'm kind of getting more comfortable with my confidence going up. And I'm kind of leaning into more of like, I know I can be more spontaneous. I can be more instantaneous, just, you know, like work with the crowd.
Yeah.
I just need to get more comfortable.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that's like, so like the best times I think I'm the most creative is when I'm with other comedians and we're just fucking riffing.
Yeah.
Like eventually I would love to have a show or something like that where it's like, you know, like bump and mic like David Tell used to do.
Uh-huh.
I love riffing with another comedian on set and like just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I would love to do that. And I think that would be very entertaining for a crowd too.
For sure.
But it's hard to practice this kind of stuff at open mics that don't want to have roasts and don't want to have crowd worker stuff. They want to just have 5 minutes. And I'm like,
Yeah, no, like, I agree. Like, you know, I don't go to a lot of open mics in Tulsa, and it's not a diss. Like, there's some really good open mics hosted by some amazing people in Tulsa. One Wednesday is Magic Night, so I go play Magic on Wednesday. So that's why I'm not at the club. So sorry to Zach about that one. I do go to Starlight occasionally if it's like, but Starlight's so late, and I'm a sleepy. I like to sleep, but I do enjoy like hanging out with Brett and Laura. Like the both of them are awesome. And then Preston I know has one, and then like Cellar Dweller's cool because after I get done playing Magic on Sundays, I can just go over to Cellar Dweller.
we know priorities.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Magic takes priority over comedy. Like, that's how you know I'm not like a real stand-up comedian. Like, I'd rather go play a card game.
Yeah.
But with that all said.
So you're even geekier. You're not the comedian that also does Magic on the side. You play Magic the Gathering on the side.
Oh, yeah. No. Like, like, honestly, in this interview, I promise you, like, the bad thing is we're only going to scratch the layer of myself.
Yeah.
Like,
just the epidermis.
I'm a weird individual. Like, I'm not trying to say like I'm like this quirky, unique. Like everyone's unique in their own way. I have a lot of layers. Like there's comedy, music.
I just wear a lot of layers to hide my weight.
I'm in tears. You're funny as fuck. You make good fat jokes. I never make a lot of good ones. Mostly because like I just kind of like the only good fat joke I ever tell people is like if I go out to eat and I order something extra and they're like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Do you think a salad got this big?" Like that's like my only go-to big joke for myself. But yeah, no. As far as like I said, with like, as many things as I do, I try not to like identify strictly as a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
Because one, I think it takes away from like how much work you all put into it.
Yeah.
Like you, I'm just name dropping everyone at this point, but like all the comedians who I watch, it's really cool to watch how you all function and how you all do things. Personally, myself, I think I've been a teacher for a few years now, and plus I did speech and debate in high school and in college.
Yeah.
So those skills transferred over to doing comedy. So for me, it's always like, how do y'all not know how to control the room? You know?
Yeah.
Because it's like I've had to control classrooms of like 30 fourth graders.
Yeah.
So,
and like,
so if I could do that, a room full of drunken adults is about the same level.
and that's kind of where I'm at, where I'm getting more comfortable. Is like, you know, I had like 10 plus years in like cell phones. So I was a district manager and I was giving presentations and stuff like that in front of like executives and stuff like that for different cell phone carriers. And like also having to manage 7 different stores between 3 states, sometimes over Skype and stuff like that. So like I had to be able to, you know, manage all that shit.
Right.
So like giving up control just doesn't sound like something that I want to do when I have a mic.
No, I agree. Like, you know, that I've never performed at Looney Bin, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's like the thing I've learned about comedy, and as you get deeper into it, you'll figure it out too, is there are different sections of it.
Yeah.
Right? You have like your clean comedians, like Adam Bush is like king of clean comedy, right? Then you have like your dark humor, like Connor Farrow. Connor Farrow is like the only person I'm cool with making like a ton of dark jokes, just because like that's just his like that's his identity. Like, as far as like Tulsa comics go to me, every time Connor gets up to tell a joke, I'm just like, woof, we're gonna be here for a second. Like it's gonna be a ride. But you know, it's just like different sections of comedians like that. And I think when you find and I'm not saying there's a section like you have to hang out with like a certain group of people or clique. Like the comedy world, I'm happy isn't like extremely cliquish. But I think like when you kind of find what you like, you'll kind of like gravitate to those groups, and you'll find like your audience, and that help builds it out.
Because I'm like there are cliques, but I believe that they're optional. Like they're there. Yeah. But like if you want to go to join that clique, they're there. Like, if you want to join that social club or something like that, they're there in that scene. They're in the scene. I mean, every scene has their cliques, but I don't think here in Tulsa like they're like so mandatory. Like you have to be the clique to be in or anything like that. Like there's a lot of different options here in Tulsa now.
For sure. Yeah. No. 100%. Like it's really funny to think like. It's bad to say. I almost want to say comedy in Tulsa is almost oversaturated. Yeah. And I hate to say it like that because I don't want people to feel discouraged to not join. Yeah. You know, like if you didn't join or come back into comedy this year, you know, like I did comedy the first time in 2016. Yeah. It was at the Comedy Parlor downtown. I was 20. I want to say I was actually 20 and I snuck in. But I know I did it when I was 20 and 21 for sure. And I did comedy for about like maybe 4 or 5 months, maybe close to 6 months, I guess. And I would go between the Comedy Parlor and the Gypsy. And those were like the only 2 places really I knew of where I could do comedy because at least being 21. And I didn't smoke. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't do booger sugar. I didn't drink back then. So I was definitely not like in tails with like the comedians in those days. Like, and that's not a diss to old comedians. Like, I'm not saying all comedians were off the booger sugar. I'm just saying like back then I remember seeing like 5 comedians outside a Comedy Parlor all hitting cigarettes and was like, yo, I got some like, I got a key at the house or some shit like that. And I'm just like, nah, dog, I'm gonna go home and play PlayStation. Like I got shit to do. Yeah. But no, I think as far as like, and this would be my advice to like young comedians, and this is why like Jared, I'm sure you know this. The scene fucks with you. Yeah, like people fuck with you. Like there's the reason I'm here. I drove all the way from Tulsa to come here. The thing I would give advice to young comedians is the more you like focus on what you want to do, and the more like you create your identity, people will gravitate towards it. Yeah, you know, like Brett Jeffries, when her and I were talking one day, and she was like, you know, when she first got into comedy, everyone would say it's taboo to sit down. And then when she saw me perform for the first time and I have the chair and I'm sitting, and now in Tulsa, it is known ThunderWof is the sit-down comedian, right? And it cracks me up because I'll see people sit before, like I'll see some people sit. Yeah. And I'll just kind of watch, and I don't gatekeep it. Like anyone can sit. I really don't give a shit. But I'll just kind of watch. And I'm like, but what is your thing? You know, like what is your thing that you can do that's different than me? You know,
see, and so like I actually, you inspired a joke for me. Oh, with your sitting down because I choose not to sit down, of course. But like I say, like it's not, I'm so fat, it's not like I'm going to sit down on this fucking stool. This whole show be sponsored by Fupa. Because if I sit down and spread my legs, it's just going to be
just out. That's hilarious. No, sometimes I'm always nervous about that too. I got a little titty meat, so
I don't need to have I'm just now like you have me PTSD, man. I'm going to sit down somewhere and the gut's going to hang out and I'm just going to hear like, God damn it, he found me. He fucking found me.
No, you'll be safe. I promise. Yeah, if I see you in public, I won't be yelling out Hutt tees at you. I got you.
I pull up to fucking Hunt Club in a sail barge.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Oh shit. Hopefully, no worms come out of Tatooine to get you. Yeah. No, that's funny. Yeah, I really enjoy the nerdiness that you have here.
And like that's getting back to like my voice is like, like and then, like you said, it's like finding out what makes you laugh, like what you're comfortable with, what your style is. That's very important because like, and like we were getting back to like don't do this at certain open mic stuff like that. It's more like I just gotta go for it. And it's one thing I did learn is it's kind of like a lot of things in life. It's better to ask forgiveness later.
Oh fuck
than to ask permission.
Yeah.
And I got caught up so hard in like asking permission to roast and stuff like that and asking permission to do this shit because I never wanted to offend people because like, again, I got banned, so I was fucking freaked out. You know what I mean? Like I'm kind of always walking on eggshells that first couple months.
For sure. So like,
and yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry to be cut
No.
I was gonna say like personally, like my philosophy, right? Like I said, like I don't really care for like too many like violent jokes. Like, sexual assault jokes, all those kind of things. Yeah. I'm also not a big roaster.
Yeah.
But I don't see people who roast. Like, I get it. It's a form of crowd work. I don't knock it. I'm cool with people roast. Like, I've definitely, like, lit someone up before in the audience or some shit like that. But for me, it's just kind of like, and again, I think of it as like, I think of performing more as like an audience member. Like, if I was in the audience, would I want somebody, like, I took time out of my day to come to this show to support local comedy. I might have or might have not bought a ticket, but maybe I bought a drink for this bar. Do I want to have, like, do I want to go home feeling insecure about how I feel about something?
Sure.
And you never know it. Like, and I always think, like, to myself, theoretically, like, I never know what people are going through. Like, as a teacher, it's amazing. Like, you'll talk to students, especially like on the first day of school, you see all the kids, right? Yeah. And every kid seems the same. Yeah. By the end of the year, you know each of those kids' individual stories. Yeah. And you're just, like, blown away. Yeah. So I've always kind of taken that approach. Like I always look at myself like as a debate coach, I always look at things as a leader, right? And I always feel like as a leader, I shouldn't try to I shouldn't make fun of people too much. Granted, I'm all good for teasing. Like I'm not saying that at all. Like, but yeah, like I said, it's kind of like when you find the identity you have, and you can't let someone tell you what your identity is. Like, I overheard like some stories about like older comedians going to younger comedians and being like, well, this is how you do this. This is how you do this. And I'm like, who the fuck said you have to do it like that? Yeah, yeah.
And that's where I'm getting at with like the roast. It's like when I say like roasting, or we talked about like some of the taboo comments, like like rape jokes or like abortion jokes, stuff like that. Again, I'm right there with you where it's not my cup of tea to have every single comedian go up there and do like 100 rape jokes, something like that. Right. However, my philosophy is if you're going to go into that, if you're going to do any type of joke like that, tread lightly and you better be fucking clever.
Yeah, you better be ready for like whatever. Like, and I say it like this, like it's kind of like being a rabbit in an open field with no grass. You can run out there and try to get across to the other side of the trees, but just know there's going to be some hawks that are up in the sky. They might pick you off.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, because I never want to like, what's it called? Like, I never want to like be demeaning to a crowd and treat them like 5-year-olds. Yeah. I think a crowd when it goes into a comedy club, it's different from an open mic. An open mic's at a bar and like half the people are just there to drink. For sure. They're not there to get fucking heckled or roasted. Yeah. That's gonna turn into a fucking fight. Yeah. Know your fucking audience. Right. Know your crowd. Read the crowd. But if you're at a paid comedy gig and the people are there to laugh, if you go there with a clever joke or something that is everybody can get, you're not demeaning. I'm not trying to be like Nutty Professor with Dave Chappelle just fucking roasting that guy so much he wants to fucking kill himself. You know what I mean? Right. I never want to be that. But if I make a clever topical joke or something like that has nothing to do. Like, I fucking told Patrick at the Sesh Lounge, he looks like he owns all 10 seasons of Walker, Texas Ranger on DVD.
That's funny as shit. That's the older dude, right?
Yeah,
Like,
and then
the old dude. Yeah, he's funny as fuck.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh, and if you heard that joke right now, he'd be like, oh, there's only 7 seasons of Walker, Texas Ranger on DVD. But you know what I mean? Like, that's a roast, but I'm not like, look at that fucking ugly motherfucker. You know what I mean? So, like, that's where my humor is. Like, I love to be like that kind of references, but it's not really demeaning. It's more like everybody's in on the joke.
Right, like for example, like the Huttese joke.
Yes.
Yeah, like, well, like, the funny thing about the Huttese joke was, like, no one else knows what the fuck Huttese was.
But you had me rolling.
Yeah, like, I remember it was so funny because I was like, I hope he fucking gets it. Because I was like, the way I told it was like, Jared, otota, bada, bada, like, I did the whole thing, mi baka supa, and, or stupa, and he, like, just fell out laughing. And then I had to explain the joke, and once I explained the joke, everyone got it. It was like, oh, fuck us. Yeah. You know, we all know who Jabba
It's an
the Hutt is,
observation.
right.
Like, okay, I get it. I don't want every single person to go, hey, fat ass, how's it going?
Yeah.
But I'm a dude as a comedian, and I'm a big dude. I know I have some weight on me.
Yeah.
Not that I want everybody to make a fucking fat joke, but if you make a clever observation, and it's just the thing like, yeah, that he is a big dude.
Yeah. And it was really only because of the Star Wars. Like, if you didn't have the Star Wars tattoos, it would have never,
Like, you get what I mean? Like, it's
Right.
like, I have a thick skin about it. I think I'm an adult, but I can laugh. You know what I mean? But I'm like, it wasn't putting me down.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm getting at. Is like, when I hear these rules, like, I don't want any roasting at all. I'm like, well, technically, like, you know, like, you can't just say all or nothing. And also, I'm the kind of individual, like, maybe it's the rebellious kind of shit in me or something like that. But if you tell me a rule and there's somewhere where I can question it, like, well, that rule shouldn't exist. That's a stupid rule.
Fuck yeah.
I'm gonna fuck with that rule so fucking hard.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
This episode of Unloading Meat is not brought to you by your favorite mobile banking apps such as Cash App. Man, I love using Cash App, especially when I'm doing things other than buying drugs. Cash App.
See, my disclaimer is this. Like I said, I have 102 jokes.
Yeah.
I let the audience choose which jokes I tell that night. And out of that 102 jokes, there are, I think, 2 Hitler jokes.
Yeah.
Right? And I always say, if the 2 Hitler jokes get told tonight, it wasn't me who chose the jokes.
Yeah.
Right? The audience chooses the jokes.
Yeah.
Like, I have some jokes that are like, you know, dark. I did not choose the jokes.
Yeah.
I might have written the jokes, but I did not choose the jokes.
Yeah.
So that's how that's been my little discretion.
Like you said, like, you care about the crowd. You care about the crowd having a good time because that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
And I always try to tell myself before I go up the 2 things, like, take them on a roller coaster ride of energy.
For sure.
If you're going to dip low, make sure it's intentional.
Yeah.
And then have fun. If I'm having fun and smiling, they're going to have fun.
Right.
And that's just what I try to tell myself as like a mantra as I go up. And my thing is like, if you tell me not to roast, who's laughing? Oh, it's the crowd.
Right.
Who had a great time? Oh, the crowd. Then shut the fuck up. The crowd had a great time.
Yeah.
And like nobody got nobody. I didn't insult anybody. I didn't make fun of anybody like hard. It's not, I'm not demeaning stuff. I'm doing clever jokes.
Yeah.
But like just because you have this rule, I don't like it. You know what I mean?
You know, like for me personally, like Starlight has rules.
Yeah.
But Starlight's rules are like reasonable.
Yeah.
Right? Like no slurs, no talking, like no punching down.
Yeah.
And those are pretty like understandable rules. And I think the other thing too, like I was talking to Sandra Slade, also another amazing comedian.
Yeah.
And
haven't met her yet, but I've seen her on Facebook.
Yeah, like, she's awesome. Talked to her earlier today. And one thing Sandra had told me that like really changed my perspective of like how good of a comedian I could be was she was like, can you do a clean set? Can you do a clean 15 minutes?
Yeah.
And I really thought about it for a long time because I was very anti-clean sets because I'm like, they limit what you can talk about.
Yeah.
But then as I really thought about it, I was like, well, I guess you would have to be funny without it having to be such a dark punchline.
It's harder to write.
Yeah, it is. And like, you know, and thankfully I have enough stories throughout my life where I have been blessed to be a good storyteller. Yeah. So it's easy for me to get, like, it was a lot easier than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
But as far as me writing, like, and I don't know how people write jokes. I don't know if there's a traditional way to write jokes. I don't know. I don't believe there's like a traditional way of how comedy is written. But as far as like how I come up with jokes, they're always like, and these observations of how I just look at life.
Yeah.
And it's just like these oddities that we don't really pay attention to.
Yeah.
And I think part of that is because I did speech and debate. And in speech and debate, we learn how to nitpick shit.
Yeah.
So like specifically.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like how it's, so to kind of wrap up on this point, just kind of like with you specifically, you have found, like, I think you have found more of your voice than I think you have given yourself credit for.
Oh, well, thanks, man.
Yeah, for sure. Like, deadass. Like, I say this, and this is not to be mean to other comedians. I will be completely honest with you. Most comedians in Tulsa, I really enjoy watching. Some of them, I will be like, like I'm a little, I'm a little hesitant to watch.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I have enjoyed watching, like, the individual ideas that people come up with.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, if you want to lose me as an audience member, don't do good crowd work. Like, lose me in the audience like everyone else.
Yeah.
But as far as, like, being funny, there aren't, like, a lot of people who I wouldn't say have not made me chuckle.
Yeah.
Like, personally, and I say this not as, like, a beef. I'm not trying to call out people.
Yeah.
But, I do believe saying things openly. Like, what's his name? The kid. He's like he's dead as like
Miguel?
a child. Yes.
Miguel.
See, you knew exactly
Yeah.
who I was talking about because I said
Well, yeah, because he's the kid that gets kicked out of every single bar.
because he's a kid. Like,
Yeah.
that shit is so funny to me, bro. And, like, I'm waiting for him. I'm like, in 3 years, I am waiting for him to, like, be able to come back so he can, like, talk shit to me legally.
Safe.
When he performs, I always laugh. But it was so funny. Like, one day I'm, like, walking up to Cellar Dweller, and he was like, "Sup, J. Cole?" And I was like, "Oh no, fuck you, bro." Like, I was like, "Bro,
Oh my
I was like,
God.
bro, I'll roast the fuck out of you."
Oh,
Like,
fuck.
you-
Yeah.
I'm not the one, big
Yeah.
dog. Like, and so I say it like this, like, when it comes to being a comedian, know what your voice is.
Yeah.
Know what kind of, like, crowd you can work with. But the most important thing, and this is why I think you are way ahead of, like, and even myself, like other comedians, like I was new at one point. The way to be a good comedian to start out is to be humble
Yeah.
and to listen.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of times my ego is huge and I'm like, "Oh, I'm fucking good." Like, I personally can tell you now in my life, I feel like I've only had 2 bad sets my entire life. One was in St. Louis. One was at a show. Like, I got there late and I was doing 2 shows. I was double booked that night and I got there and I was like, fuck it. I don't really care about, like, because sometimes I'll be honest, like, sometimes I'm like, fuck, I'm just not in, like, the best of moods.
Yeah.
And that was one of those nights. Those 2 shows, and even the show I bombed, I did a show in St. Louis, I bombed. They did not enjoy a joke I have about Paw Patrol. Who knew? But in all fairness, the Paw Patrol joke does contain a joke with, like, the hard R. But that's
Oh, okay.
it's a whole bit.
It's so funny. My Paw Patrol joke deals with Auschwitz.
Oh, wow. No, we'll have to compare them.
Yeah.
So but, like, I was okay with, like, those 2 shows being bad. I would say, but outside of that, I feel like I have done a great job at any show I've performed at. Like, and again, it's not like an ego thing, but I will say there are things I could still learn.
Yeah.
There are ways how I could shorten a joke. Like, I talked to C.R. Parsons the other day, also another amazing veteran. Boy,
Yeah.
this is just gonna be me.
He'll be in next week.
Yeah, I'm just name drop. Okay, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just name dropping everybody. That's okay.
It's okay.
So yeah, I was talking to CR, and CR gave me, like, he messaged me on the way over here, gave me like 4 paragraphs of critiques on my set. And some of the critiques I really appreciate, some
Yeah.
of them I don't.
Yeah.
But it's like, at least someone took the time out of their day
Yeah.
to give me those critiques. The least I can do is listen and then think, like, okay, how can I apply this critique? Or, like, how can I maybe change it to apply to this critique?
Yeah.
But the one thing for certain is I won't change, like, my identity as a comedian because of those critiques. And I think for new comedians, and this is why I say I think you're on a good path. I think, like, I know Isaiah's new to the scene. He's on a good path from what I've been seeing, you know? It's more of just, like, being the individual that you need to be. And don't try to, like, and this is why I think you're fine. Like, don't try to be someone else, you know?
Yeah.
Don't try to do too much.
Yeah.
You know, and I hate to say it like this, like, keep your head low for a second, you know? And then, like, when you kind of start building a name, like, you have a name that's getting built pretty well. Like, the podcast helps. You're funny on stage. Like,
Thanks,
you're
man.
just a genuinely nice person.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, no, like, for example, okay, let me say it like this. The Tulsa community scene is very supportive, as you can tell, right? Like,
Yeah.
I recently had a show at our barn, and I live on a 5-acre horse ranch, and we have, like, a barn and all that good stuff. So we had a show at the barnyard.
Yeah.
And one of my things about the show is I always try to have only one white performer per show. So I always have, like, as many people of color, as many queer people, but traditionally I only have one white person per show. And I realized there's a lot more white people that do comedy than I was expecting. So now I'm kind of having, like, this list issue, right? Because I'm like, man, I got to start recycling colors now. Like, Jesus Christ. But that to be said is, the reason
that made me legit snort. Legit snort.
Thank you.
I'm that fat.
but I was gonna say, but that is a thing that I pay attention to as, like, an audience member.
Yeah.
And it's not just me, right? Like, for example, like how we talked about Sandra. Like, Sandra's watching your sets. Michael Patton, when he's in town or around and about, he's watching your sets.
Yeah.
So, like, as a comedian, like, those are the things that I think people should keep in mind, especially if you want to grow in this group.
Yeah.
Is you want to be sure that you're, like, chill.
Yeah.
And people, like, you're approachable, like, you can approach people nicely. So, like, that would be my tip for comedians is, like, just be a fucking cool person.
Yeah.
My favorite thing ever was there was a guy, probably about, like, last year, maybe, like, the end of 2021, and he was a dick. Like, he was just a fucking dick. All I remember his name is fuck bro. Everybody said fuck transphobic. He was an asshole. And the entire comedy scene was like, fuck him. Like, it was funny. And you know how odd it is to have like think of it like this. And I say this isn't like these people have beefs or anything. It's just a spectrum of comedy.
Yeah.
For the Roscoe spectrum to the Brett Jeffrey spectrum.
Yeah.
For that entire spectrum of comedy.
Yeah.
To be and like to be like, fuck you, fuck.
Yeah.
That is the funniest thing to me.
Yeah.
To see all the comedians. And there's one thing you don't want to be is like the person a bunch of comedians hate.
Yeah.
Like, if one comedian can't roast you, I promise you the other 1,000 can.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that would be my advice. Like, and we can segue to the next topic. But yeah, as far as like being a new comedian, just like be cool.
Yeah.
Be cool and promise. Like the people will come up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, people will come up to you and ask you to be on shows and stuff like that. Or they'll ask you to like battle 5 other white people for a spot on their show.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something just to kind of keep in mind. That would be my advice.
Yeah. I mean, dude, like, what was that? March when we did the wedding reception, I think it was.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
That was the first time I met you, and I met Ethan Sandoval, and
fucking love him.
JB was up there.
Yeah, awesome.
Like that was the first time meeting, I think, the 3 of you guys.
Yeah.
And like you guys have been in it for a lot longer than I have, and like I was just honored to even be on there and like stuff like that. And I felt like I at least hung with you guys a little bit.
Yeah.
Like at least like I don't know, I just like I was like, crap, this is a good stage to have, and I was so new to it. I was like felt honored to be selected to be up there with him. I don't know, I'm friends with the cast and stuff like that. It's just what I'm saying.
I got you.
It was like it felt nice. It was like a good crowd.
Yeah, no, like I know we talked about Kobe earlier, but like one thing about like, and I promise, like I can't.
You tell me not to make those jokes.
I know. I'm trying. And trust me, I'm trying. It's your show, so do you. But like I said, like when you learn about like,
and you just keep life flighting them over here.
Wow. But like the one thing you learn about like when you like basketball, like I use a lot of basketball or sports as like my references for things, and like. When you talk about the GOATs, you have like Michael Jordan, Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, LeBron James, Magic Johnson, Kobe. Like those are going to be those players. That doesn't mean there won't be other great players, right?
So
like, there's never
Kobe was like
be...
8th, like the 8th number of blades on the helicopter.
Wow. We're going to cancel this episode. I'm going home. No, I'm going to. Jared doesn't know this. Like in the next 2 weeks while I'm in California, all jokes about you. Oh, you think I won't learn other Congolax just for you? You think I won't learn Dragon just to mess with you?
You think he would have been happy if he landed in a Laker?
That's clever. That was.
Nah, Lake.
I'm not gonna laugh at any of them. Like, I'm laughing more of like the anxiety of not laughing. But
I gotta be careful saying the word Laker. That just sounds no.
Yeah, you said it with a hard R.
Yeah. Oh, wrong one. Available now.
Yeah, we're gonna have some great outtakes. I've been loving this.
I know.
Yeah, no, but as far as like when you learn about like, and this is how I approach comedy is, I don't look at it as like I look at it as like how good can I perform?
Yeah.
And that's one thing like you learn from like Kobe and like all these great players like in any sport is kind of like when you do the best you could do to be a champion, like that's what you should aim for. So yeah, like that's kind of like how I look at it. I forgot how we got to this topic, but we're talking about you coming on the stage with us. No, like. If I feel like if you belong there, you belong there. If you feel like you should be up there, you should be up there. Like I told this to my brother the other day. There's a comedian in Tulsa named Mario Oates. I don't know if you've seen Mario.
I haven't.
He's fucking huge, and not like us huge. He's like muscle huge. Like he could sit on this couch and take it all up.
Oh,
he's
damn.
that fucking buff.
Yeah.
Fucking huge, and he's funny. But he's also like 6'3", I think. He's 6'3", buff with dreads.
Oh, yeah.
And I tell people, I'm like, if I was ever his size, I would just bark at people. Like
fucking DMX style?
Yeah, just woo, like just for fucking fun. Just woo, like just that's how big he is.
Yeah.
And I told my brother, I was like, I'm not intimidated that I think DeMario is funnier than me.
Yeah.
Or that he's like a better comedian or anything like that. But I will say I was slightly like, damn, like shit, like I'm on the same stage with this big ass son of a bitch. Like, wow, like, and his name is everywhere. And you're like, wow, like you think things like that. Or like you see, like if I'm on a show and like I see Evans on there or something like that, like you see the names that you're being put with, and you're kind of like, huh, like I'm really here, you know. Like my dad was a professional cowboy.
Yeah.
And when he was about like, he was like 17 years old, he roped with like all these adults, you know, in rodeos. And my dad was still in high school. Yeah. And all these guys had been roping for like 20, 30 years, whatever at this point. And my dad ended up winning the rodeo. And he was like, whoa, look, I'm supposed to be here. So I think for you and like any other comedian, like if you have felt like you've put in the work and you're like making a name for yourself, you belong anywhere you want to be.
Yeah, because I think like you got back to like you never want to sound like your inauthentic self. I think the best thing that you can do as a comedian or an entertainer is the audience can call bullshit pretty easily.
Oh, yeah.
They could sniff it out. So if you're not being your authentic self or sounding like the words are coming out of your mouth naturally, they're going to eat you alive. If you don't talk with confidence or act like you belong there, they're going to be like, what the fuck is this dude I'm doing with a microphone? Why am I paying attention to you?
Yeah, fuck you. No, 100%.
That's just something that like I've always tried to like keep with myself, and as my confidence has kind of grown in my own abilities, stuff like that. And again, I also think back to like that roast night, or like when Josh Wolf came in here and stuff like that. Like I try not to have like an ego about it. I'm not name dropping. It's more like those are those times where you can like either be like, okay, I'm gonna fucking talk about this for the rest of my life, or I can stay humble and use it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and like, I would rather be humble and be like, this is a great experience. I'm like, take value of it and appreciate it.
Yeah.
Always appreciate the moment, but hey, this is still the story. It's still going on. It's not to stop.
For
you know
sure.
what I mean?
Yeah, and like I know we talked like before the show. We talked about like you said you weren't religious or anything like that. Totally fine. I'm not like a super religious person. I do believe in God. I pray, and I think Jesus, maybe he's the son. I don't know. We didn't get the paternity test, but
Get Maury out here.
No, I got to.
You
be
are
Jerry.
not the father.
It has to be Jerry now. I saw a meme about that. It was like
yeah,
Jerry, Joseph, and God and Jesus. But one of the things one thing I always say is like, God puts me in place, and as a nerd, I would say this. I look at God the same way I look at the Force.
Okay.
Like the Force is like this omniscient being that we can't see.
Yeah.
We have to feel it. Like that's
intangible.
Right. But it things happen within the Force.
Sure.
Things like that. So that's how I kind of that's my perception of God. Yeah. I feel as if with God, things just happen. Life just happens. And the places that you need to be are where you need to be at that time.
Yeah.
And that has really been like my life has been full of benefits. Like I'm leaving this summer to go teach debate all summer.
Yeah.
And
nice.
that was just like cool. Like it was cool. And I'm going to be going in like San Diego, LA, and Boston for the whole summer. Right?
Yeah.
And at first I was kind of like, am I really qualified to teach at this camp? Like I don't have a college degree, but I've been coaching for all these years. And then in my interview, the guy was like, yeah, we want you not to be a junior instructor. You should be a senior instructor. I was like, oh.
Nice.
He's like, yeah, we want you to lead a lab and hold 9 yards. And this is like in an interview. And and this isn't like a flex or anything like that. It's just kind of like, I got this job without a college degree.
Yeah.
And all the other senior instructors have college degrees.
Yeah.
Or they're like coming out of grad programs.
Yeah.
And we had a big meeting on Zoom because we're all across the country. And man, I'm listening to these people's qualifications. And they're like, yeah, my name is such and such. I'm like a triple, what did they say? Triple major. I'm like, triple? You can go to 3? Like, who the fuck goes past?
Yeah.
Like, I've heard of double.
Yeah.
I've heard of a minor. So you can get 3 majors at one time.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck has that much time? But you hear that shit, you're like, oh, I'm in my 3rd year at law school. Or I just finished my doctoral program.
The 3rd one's always a bullshit degree. It's like Reaganomics.
Oh, fucking dead. It's funny because I think she mentioned me. It was like 2 really serious ones. The 3rd one was
It's always the third bullshit.
It was like some weird fucking thing. It was like business management. I was like, but the first one was like law and like social like life or sociology. I was like, what the fuck? That's funny as shit because that 3rd one was a fucking art. I was like, you're just doing that for the fucking flex at this
It's like,
point.
what do you want to be? I want to be a lawyer. Okay, so I took 8 years of business, 8 years of attorney school, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
I have another degree in business, and then the 3rd one is an 18th century Chinese architecture.
Yeah, dead ass. Oh, that's so fucking weird. No, you're accurate. It's accurate as fuck. But like, with all these people having all these like these accolades, it hit me for a second because at first I was like, fuck, like, am I like actually qualified?
Yeah.
But then I thought about like I got promoted mid-interview.
Yeah.
And this is like the first time I'm in this, and this is the first interview, and I'm like, no, like my track record stands for itself. I can stand on my own too. Like there's debaters out there that have more wins than I do for sure.
You're a
That's
master
fine.
debater.
Haven't heard that one before.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I know. Right here on Unloading Meat, we master debate.
I've heard that same joke since I was 13 years old.
When you were masturbating?
No,
Oh.
it was actually when I was just only on a speech team.
Oh, I thought you were like
Yeah.
actually talking about like jerking off, and that's how you came. Like you were just like, I'm a master debater. Oh, anyway.
I've never had a debate girlfriend, which is cool with me. Yeah, too many arguments.
Inflatables?
Oh wow, that's funny. Wow, you are quick.
I always
go
go-
ice cream truck.
Yeah, we have ice cream trucks like once a day.
God, being in a white neighborhood is cool. What the fuck?
It's either that or meth.
Sheesh. So that's how I always looked at it. I do have a question for you though.
Yeah.
Yeah, like who was the worst customer you ever had at T-Mobile? I looked at your LinkedIn before I came.
Oh, okay.
Here. Yeah.
Yeah. The worst experience I ever had at a T-Mobile. Okay, so I had to fire a girl over this. So it's kind of the individual's fault too. Had this customer and wanted an iPhone. And he wanted a specific like fucking 256 gig or something like that. And I was in the Bartlesville store, so I had to go all the way to the Tulsa store to go pick it up.
Okay.
And bring it back. On the way there, he kept calling, asking for like a 5-minute update. So much so that I missed the gas station, ran out of gas in the Wasso on like the fucking 169.
Yeah.
And then I had to like hop that white picket fence and go buy a gas canister at the O'Reilly's, and then walk down to the Quick Trip, and then walk back up. And then he was cussing us out because I was late with the fucking phone. Get it all the way there, and he gets the phone, comes back 2 days later, and I guess he gave the girl who was the girl that was my employee. Yeah. He knew her in real life. He gave her a bad survey because of the wait time. And she chewed his ass out on Messenger. Like, why the fuck would you affect my job like this? Because we went all the way to Tulsa. Like, she chewed his ass out. Yeah. But technically, that's an employee chewing out a customer in Facebook Messenger. He screenshot it and turned it into T-Mobile corporate. And so I got under review. She got under review. Everything. And so I get back to fucking the store. I ended up having to fire her.
Wow.
And then her mom comes up to the fucking store and starts throwing a fit to me and the assistant manager. And the assistant manager wasn't there, so she went to the assistant manager's house and started knocking on her front door, cussing her out about firing her daughter. All because this dude, and then 2 days later he returned the phone, he didn't like it anyway.
You know, the thing, I Googled this on the way here.
Yeah.
I didn't realize, one, like again, I did not know Bartlesville was this fucking gorgeous. This is really pretty out here.
Yeah.
I did not realize there's only 37,000 people out here.
Yeah.
Meaning you all know each other.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking wild.
Yeah.
Like, how is the city so pretty and there's only like...
So, you want to know why? So this city is the home headquarters of ConocoPhillips.
That's right. It's oil money here.
Yeah. So like Phillips 66 and Frank Phillips, his mansion's in this town.
Yeah. The what's his name made it?
Frank Phillips. So the Price Tower is Frank Lloyd Wright.
Yeah. Okay.
So we had an architect build that skyscraper there.
Yeah.
But like, because of the oil money.
Skyscraper's a strong word.
Yeah, tower. They call it a skyscraper. They call it Bartlesville skyscraper. It's the one tower, and it's like 5 stories.
You know, in Oklahoma, back in Tulsa, we have the same one made by the guy who made the ones from 9/11. So yeah, so we have a real skyscraper. 9/13. You know, it's so funny. Like, sorry to segue. You know, when 9/11 happened, like they were worried about Tulsa, like the BOK tower.
Yeah,
because they were like, it's made by the same person. And I was like, that'd be fucking hilarious if terrorists cared about architecture
they're
that
Wikipedian.
much. Yeah, like they're like, no, it is not because of an American greed. It is because of Frank Lloyd Wright. Then they come and like destroy the Price Tower. The guy who created the tower, BOK Tower, is a Japanese guy. I can't say his name correctly, but like, yeah, we hate him as an architecture. Destroy his shit. I think that would be like the better way to be a terrorist versus like ideological bullshit.
What I'm thinking is like they fucking like they
just hate architecture.
They Wikipedia'd the 9/11 God damn, this is horrible. Yeah. They Wikipedia the World Trade Center and they scrolled all the way to the bottom and then they got that fucking thing that was like, if you enjoyed this, you might like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that'd be the worst way to be a terrorist is off of suggestions. That's funny as shit. Yeah, no, that always cracks me up because I'm like, yeah, I'm sure Al Qaeda was worried about conservative leaning Tulsa. Yeah.
Wasn't David Tell talk about like the one place you never have to go is like a bus worry about is a bus station because it already looks like a bomb went off there.
Yeah, man, that's funny as shit. No, but back to the point about like Bartlesville, like with your customer. No, I was just curious. Like I was driving through and I was like, okay, because have you ever been to like Fayetteville?
Yeah.
Yeah, or not Fayetteville, but like Little Rock and those little areas. Like I was like, wow, this is like driving through that. Like this is like really fucking pretty through here. Like y'all have a downtown. I was like, wow, this might be like my new favorite suburb of Tulsa.
It's a bunch of rich old white people.
Yeah, I drove through the mansions and shit. I was like, holy shit.
Put it this way, our mall, we have a Bartlesville mall.
Get the fuck out.
It has a full-fledged mall. It's been here since I was a little kid.
Get the fuck out.
There's only like 3 or 4 stores that are never going to close in there, and one of them is Dillard's. Because Dillard's owns its own building on the side of the mall. And so if the rest of the mall gets sold, Dillard's still stays there.
You know what's crazy? We were talking about that with Promenade today.
Really?
Because my dad and I were talking about like online shopping.
Yeah.
And I have old parents. So I look at things in a very old ass lens.
Yeah.
I don't really get online shopping unless it's just like very specific.
I'm kind of the same way.
Yeah, like I prefer to go to a store, check shit out. Like I bought a laptop charger, but all the laptop chargers I found in store were like $40.
Yeah. Online,
found one for like 15.
Yeah.
So like shit like that I get.
Yeah.
But we were talking about like stores closing, and I was like, it's amazing to me that like Penny's closed.
Yeah.
At Promenade.
Yeah.
But Dillard's is still there.
Yeah.
Like that's so fucking crazy, but that might make more sense.
Well,
they might
Dillard's
do the same
is an upscale place, and a lot of rich old white people live there.
Yeah, but I'm like, how many people can be there so much? Like,
dude, like, so my ex-wife worked there.
Yeah.
And she got insanely well paid from the tips from old people and stuff, because it's a different generation that shop there.
Yeah.
So they're used to, like, you know, you go there to a fancy department store and you have like somebody wait on you and like, oh, you need this size and this size and
That's
this size.
true, yeah.
So they're used to that old stuff. Kind of like if you ever watch Mad Men or something like that, and they have like the old department stores and they have like assistants help you with your clothes and stuff like that.
Sears.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, but like
It's
Dillard still does
Sears
that.
used to be a powerhouse.
But Dillard still does that.
Yeah.
And like those old white women eat that shit up, so they'll tip you $20-$30 just for like checking them out and stuff like
That's
that.
crazy. Yeah, see, I have a homeboy. He's a manager at Dillard's, and he gets paid pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just one of those things. Like, it just, because I think, in my theory, I'm like, JCPenney's is so cheap.
Yeah.
You would just think that it's constantly busy, like, it would make enough money. But yeah, no, Penny's closed first. I was like, wow, that's fucking wild.
Well, like, you know, with this stuff, there are things that I've bought online because they're online exclusives, like retail exclusives.
For sure.
But 90% of the time, the point of all this is I love the thrill of the hunt.
Yeah.
Like, there's some joy about going to a random Walmart or Target. Like, one of my favorite things when I was a district manager was driving to Louisiana, Texas, stuff like that, and go to a random GameStop. And that's how I found that Leonardo up there.
Hell yeah.
Like, just being like, oh, I found that fine. That fucking endorphins kick in.
Have you ever been to the GameStop in, or not GameStop, the vintage stock in Springfield?
No.
Oh.
I've only been to Oklahoma
You're fucking missing out, bro. It's like the size of like a movie theater.
Nice.
Yeah, it's fucking huge.
I want to go because like so like I model a lot of my comedy off of, like, you know, independent wrestlers are kind of similar to stand-up comedians, I think.
Oh, for sure.
I'm a big pro wrestling guy.
Yeah, they have a walk-in. They have a character that they play.
Yeah.
The only difference is like maybe some more injuries, but yeah.
But they're touring and they're hustling. They're making their own merch. They're trying to like get their name out there, and they're hustling on like social media and vlogs and stuff like that.
They don't get paid that well.
Yeah, and so like a lot of times they're doing it for a handshake and a hot dog.
Yeah,
that's the whole, just like us.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And you know, sometimes you're doing live improv work and crowd work and stuff like that with people. For sure. But like I'm very inspired by people like there's a guy named Ethan Page from AEW, and he does traveling vlogs, and every city he goes to, he takes the wrestlers and they go on toy hunts. And he does vlogs, and he gets a huge amount of following from that because people just want to see this guy go to Target and stuff and go, don't vlog.
Who was that little kid? I'm not like a little kid.
Like Ryan and all that stuff.
Yeah, like Ryan's Toys.
Yeah.
Like that fucker, like, well, I'll say fuck, he's like a child, but you know.
By this age, he's like 19.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that fucker. He used to just open toy boxes.
Yeah.
One, the idea of box opening is fucking crazy to me. Like, what the fuck? That's such a wild ass concept to me.
But like that's the 2023 like argument of like the same people who were like back in the day were like, I just don't understand people watching people play games on Twitch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But see, I can get that because I think it's like, I don't know about you, but like as a kid, when you like hung out at your friend's house, if your friend only had one controller, what were you doing anyway?
You're watching.
Or if you're playing like you know, some games were only one player. Yeah. Like before they came out, a lot of multiplayer shit. So yeah, like to me, I can understand watching someone else play a game because you're like, holy shit, you're really good at this. You know, like watching them play a sport. But yeah, the unboxing thing always cracks me up.
You want to know the saddest part about that?
What's that?
If you watch any like, because you know I have 2 kids.
Yeah.
And you know my youngest daughter's 6, and she watches those YouTube videos all the time. They come up on my feed and stuff like that. Like there's a YouTube channel called like Corridor Crew. They do like visual effects and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And they had a child psychologist come in and like kind of research some of those videos. And like, dude, you know, like what kids watch those unboxing videos?
It's just like
poor kids. It releases the endorphins like you're actually getting the toy.
No shit. Damn, that's like really sad.
It's very sad, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's like sad as shit.
That's some dark shit, right?
Yeah, holy fuck.
I love the Animaniacs girl in
It's this funny though.
It's very funny.
It's like this funny.
Did you watch the Animaniacs growing up?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
They had this. They always had like these short stories in between all of those skits that were like really meaningful.
Yeah.
And they had one about like the Christmas toy or something like that. It was like the gold wrapper, and it followed this like little piece of wrapping paper that was gold from like a Dillard's department store for a toy. And the kid didn't fucking care about it and just trashed it and threw it in the trash. And it follows the story of this wrapping paper going from like this rich family that throws it in the trash to like this homeless family digging in the trash outside, and the dad's looking for something to wrap this old broken like toy soldier up for his kid for Christmas. And he finds this little piece of golden paper and he wraps it up all nice, and the kid like keeps it in his pocket and like it's part of him now.
Yeah.
And that was the end of the story. It's like it like meant something to that kid more.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, the dad couldn't even afford wrapping paper. Like
Yeah, no, like seriously though, like that's
shit gets deep like sometimes.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. You know, that's why I say like when we were talking about earlier, like, you know, talking to the audience, it's amazing just like the human story And that's kind of one of the reasons, like, when I turned, before I was 25, I wasn't, like, suicidal.
Yeah.
But I was definitely, like, every year I'd be like, maybe this is the year, you know?
Yeah.
After 25, I was like, nah, I'm good now.
Insurance is cheaper.
Yeah, I was like, when I hit 25, I was like, when I turned 25, I was like, bro, I'm at already a quarter. Might as well just fucking ride it out, see how long this bad boy, this machine is going to hold on. But
car insurance has no idea how many fucking suicides they can prevent if they just lower it down to 24. You can say it's progressive. It's progressive.
It's progressive. Oh, God.
Oh, I'm on one.
So we
State Farm.
Yeah, hopefully we're in all good hands.
All state.
Yeah. Oh God, this is a fun episode.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah, no, this is really fun to do. I'm not much. I don't really listen to a whole bunch of podcasts, but I like being on them just because it's fun. But
yeah, dude.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like, and I say this not to be like I don't. It's just my ADHD. I just don't focus very well.
Can I tell you I've told a couple people on here this is by design why I have this as the set.
Yeah.
So my goal is I want this to be kind of overwhelming. Like how many figures and stuff you're seeing, like you're like the imagination just going wild.
Yeah, no, it's perfect.
Because my thoughts are, if you're distracted by that, you're not paying attention to the cameras or the lights or what I'm doing over here.
Yeah.
And 90% of the time it works.
Yeah, no.
And I can have a real conversation. We're just chatting.
For sure.
Because you're not even paying attention to this shit.
No, it's a good setup. No, like seriously, it is.
Like, yeah. Like, I thank you, man. Like, I'm not, again, I'm trying to be humble about it.
I don't think you realize like how bad I want to rob you. Like, yeah. Like just like if I was like 13, bro, I would have definitely slid one of these things in my pocket and just bounced out.
Hey, I'll bring out Thor's axe. Okay, I got it over there.
I'm screaming. Oh, is it like the one with the Groot
yeah.
handle? Oh,
I got all those. Like, I got
what
Thor's,
is it called? Mornings? Not morning. Bright.
Damn it.
Oh, the Marvels are gonna be mad.
Mjolnir and
it has a cool ass name too.
God damn it!
You know, just Google it. Unless you just have this much pride.
Not Kingslayer. It's something. It's fit for a king. Peter Dinklage fucking called it. Now it's gonna bother the shit out of me.
I thought it was called after the star. Isn't that like?
The Dwarf Star. That's what they made it.
Oh, that's right. They made it after the star.
Oh god. Damn.
We just had to take the L and Google it. It's okay. It happens. I don't know why I keep wanting to say. Is it called Morning Glory?
Stormbreaker.
Stormbreaker. That's right. Well, there's two different versions of RC. I didn't know that. I didn't know there was a green RC.
That would be Chromia.
Oh.
There's three of them, and I don't have the red one in there. Actually, yeah, I do. At the top of the red one.
Oh, no shit. I didn't know there's that many lady Transformers.
Yeah, they came out later.
Yeah, see, the only one I knew was RC.
So like they came out with a Transformers movie. There was no female Transformers until the '86 movie.
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
I had it on VHS.
I still
It takes place in 2005.
So I wish I still had it. So like behind my Unloading Meat banner, I have that poster.
Oh so, yeah, Optimus Prime shooting up or not Optimus is it's not Ultra.
Ultra Magnus.
No.
Hot Rod?
No, who comes after who gets the Allspark after Optimus Prime? Because it's like a really fucking random like.
It's Hot Rod. He becomes Rodimus Prime.
That's right. Yes, that's right.
Yeah, the guy in the frames right there.
Yeah, with the flames, right? Because he had the little kid who was like his best friend.
Yep.
Yeah, and then he had the little Transformer suit, which still biologically makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
The little like mecha
I have it up there on
suits.
top of the Dinobot. Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah, no, the mecha suits for the humans and Transformers never biologically.
My favorite part of that is like the Transformers in the movie. They're like, he's like, I don't know how to transform, and they're just like, just do it, and they just leave him.
Yeah,
they just leave him.
He's like trying to struggle through. Honestly, I don't know why. I'm so happy you brought up this movie because I feel like this movie doesn't get talked about enough. It's a funny ass movie.
Yeah,
like
Dare to Be Stupid.
The part that always cracks me up is the metal piranhas.
Oh yeah, the Piranacons? Or
yeah. And they're like in the water. Sharkticons. Yeah, and they're in the water doing the whole thing. And then the one where they drop the old dude in there and they eat him up. And I'm like, who the fuck came up? Like, okay, I will also say, because I want to end the show on more nerdy shit. We talked about comedy enough.
Keep talking.
Yeah. The other thing too, like, I truly enjoy, like, I wasn't alive at this time. I am a huge fan of like 80s cartoons.
This is how cool Hasbro does. Pull that leg.
Pull the leg?
Pull. So remember when he gets taken apart by the Sharkticons?
Oh, that's right.
He's a fully transformable guy, but you can take the limbs off, and then you can have Hot Rod repair him with his torch.
That's funny.
They fucking went to that much detail.
That's hilarious.
That's the old
And
man.
you know what's crazy? Only we know about it because we have to see the movie. Like, you have to see the movie to understand the references. But that's funny as shit. Like,
Just little details like that they put in the figure.
that's hilarious. You know who my favorite? And we were talking about villains earlier.
Yeah.
My favorite villain. One, I think Palpatine is the greatest fictional villain of all time. I will think about like how good of a manipulator this man was. Like,
Well, until the-
Palpatine is the greatest groomer of all time.
Yes.
Like, if you really
Besides Jared.
besides Jared. But like, if you really take like Palpatine into like a lens and think Anakin was a child.
I'm just saying, I can't. You had me until the newest trilogy.
No.
I'm kind of hoping that they pulled like you remember like so you're nerdy.
If they can whitewash Legends. Yeah, if they can Disneyfy and say, oh, the old canon is Legends now. Fuck no, they can.
You know what I think they're gonna do? It's the nerdiest thing ever, but if they do it, it's the only thing to redeem it. Did you watch Star Wars Rebels?
Yeah, fucking loved it.
Remember when they saved Ahsoka through the time jump?
Yes.
What if they do that with Rey? Because they've already announced that Rey's coming back.
Yeah, but she's I'm gonna say it like this, bro, and I say this full heartedly. It's Disney.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is
Disney
like
ruined Power Rangers. They're gonna ruin Star Wars. The fact that Marvel is still somewhat holding afloat, it's amazing. But Star Wars is.
I will say like I mean the Star Wars series are good. Like
yeah, like Clone Wars, all those. Like,
Mandalorian's good.
yeah, but the movies,
The movies, yeah.
the movies are ass.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
So like, my only thoughts are is I think with them pushing Ahsoka so hard and going back with the time jump of bringing back Thrawn and Ezra, they're gonna do something with the timeline. They're gonna bring in.
I swear to God, if Star Wars gets into the multiverse bullshit, I'm gonna be.
I'm just saying, like, did you watch the latest season of Mandalorian?
Yeah,
They already showed the Purgle,
that's true.
and those are the time jumping fucking whales.
See what I'm saying, bro? I swear to God, if Star
But
Wars
you-
gets into this multiverse shit, I'm gonna be so happy but so mad at the same time.
Everything is so like it's funny. Like my daughter's getting a little older. I'm showing her certain episodes of South Park. You know, there's some I skip because they're a little vulgar stuff. But for the most part, there's clever writing sometimes.
Also, very impressed that you skip over the vulgar stuff.
Well, like if it's like very like a lot of cum jokes and stuff like that, like there's a whole fucking episode where a police detective is just posing as a prostitute and he's just getting cum in the entire time. Like I'm gonna skip that episode for my 12-year-old daughter or 13-year-old daughter. You know what I mean?
Shout out to Jared for being a good dad. Not that I thought you were a shitty dad or anything like that.
Well,
Like,
here's my philosophy of parenting. I've never been one of those parents who's like leave it up to the schools to teach your kids, or like my thoughts are if I tell my kids, hey, don't watch that, what are they gonna do in secret?
I'm gonna go watch it.
But if they're like, hey, I'm curious about South Park, and I watch it with them and I educate them about it, and I kind of tone down certain scenes or something like that, kind of like how a parent back in the day would watch an R-rated R movie with a kid.
For sure.
Hey, cover your eyes when the boobs pop out.
Yeah.
But they're still watching the movie, and they have questions about it, and you're there to fucking guide them.
Yeah, no, like the reason I'm really impressed by that because like when I was a kid, I was a single child for both of my homes, right? Like all my siblings were like 18 years older than me.
Yeah.
So when I was a kid, like my mom and I Blazing Saddles was my favorite movie when I was like 7.
Oh, I love that fucking movie.
So like, you know, I grew up watching all of these, like watching stand up, all like any kind of X-rated things I got to watch.
Yeah.
And my mom was cool about it because she would like you said, would talk me through what these things were.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm probably like the only kid who was in 4th grade that went home excited to watch Law and Order SVU.
Yeah.
On like TNT, right?
Yeah.
Or USA. I think it might have been on USA. But it was just one of those things where like I think that's really fucking cool. And as a teacher, like someone who works in education, appreciate that. Yeah. 'Cause you'd be amazed, like especially like how like fucking like the
Well, how many kids go to school these days wearing a Breaking Bad shirt and they've never watched the show, don't have no idea what the fuck it is?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And my daughter's like, because I go by good writing, Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul are some of the best written shows I've ever seen.
Yeah, for sure.
I show her through that, but even then, I'm like, I don't need to go through the fucking sex scenes or anything like that with her, but like, she's curious about what Breaking Bad is and the things.
Yeah, you walk through it, yeah.
I walk through it, and like at the end of the day, she's like, this is a really well written show. I'm like, yeah, it's very well written, it's real, and like she's seeing this stuff, and like,
and I think having that like understand, like and I say this. And this isn't to like ruffle feathers, be mean or anything. It's just kind of like I don't think kids get enough of a world view enough at times, and the world is so much bigger than it's hard to fathom.
Hey guys, this episode is not brought to you by a mobile game like Best Fiends. It's like Friends, but take out that R. What are they trying to say? The R's for like is the R word? Is it an R word? Can we say R word? Can we hint at the word? Take out the R. Oh, Fiends, Friends. That's fucking retarded.
But no, seriously, look, this puppy just showed up at my house. It's a little cattle dog, not a big dog. We call her Onion. I'll even bring her to you.
I can't do it right now. I'm poor, man. I don't
That's
even have time
fine.
for the dog. Like, I'm tight right now.
It's all good.
But like for right now, like eventually I think down at the end of the year we're gonna get a dog. I still need to fix my backyard too because my backyard's nuts.
Oh yeah, Onion will get out. That's how she ended up at my house. She got out of somebody's yard.
Yeah, I'm gonna go buy some like railroad ties and put them all the way around my fence. Because
Oh,
I have
yeah.
a backyard, but like it has holes underneath the fence.
For sure.
So I thought about a whole bunch of railroad ties if
Yeah.
I'm just putting those around.
And cow dogs are smart as shit. Like
Yeah.
they'll figure out how to get out. Yeah.
My last dog, I had a basset hound / bird dog mix.
Oh yeah.
He was basically a basset hound, looked like a Dalmatian.
Oh, that's cute.
And then I had a
Ankles and everything out.
Yeah, like he was short. Like he was
Yeah.
short, like stumpy.
Yeah.
But he would point like a bird dog.
Love that.
And then I had a yellow lab. And the yellow lab was the best dog I ever fucking had. That was a $50 dog I got from Kansas. And that
Wow.
dog was intelligent, well-tempered, the kindest fucking dog I've ever met.
Did you get it? Okay, so you said you had for that long. You know, I saw this thing the other day about dogs, and it was talking about like the dog that you get in your 20s is like
Yeah.
your best friend of all
Yeah.
time. And I had a dog in high school named Tinker, and I love Tinker. Like I cry when Tinker passed
Yeah.
away. But the dog I got at 20, his name is Kunta Homeless. Well, Homeless is his middle name. Kunta is his first name.
Of course.
But I just say both because it's interchangeable whenever I talk
Yeah.
about him. So like the thing about Homeless is like,
I'm hoping you never whip that dog.
no,
Okay.
he's good. No, Homeless is like the weirdest. Like he's Homeless is like the only thing I think outside of my father who just has this mythos around him in my life. Like I've never met a dog with a mythos.
Yeah.
And I say this not to like flex about my dog, brag about my dog. You know how people like brag like, "Oh, my kid's cooler than your kid."
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying that about Kunta. Like there's a million dogs, billions of dogs out there that are awesome. But like the thing about Kunta is just kind of like he has his own lore, and it doesn't have to do anything with me.
Yeah.
One day, so like I said, I live on 5 acres, and so whenever the mail truck comes, it drives down my road, and he'll like run and chase it.
Yeah.
And that's just his thing. Like every year since he was a puppy, that's what he's done.
Yeah.
And we got a new mail lady a few years ago. She was a black lady. So like I run out to the truck to tell her like, hey, he's used to the other mail lady who's been doing this for him like for years now.
Yeah.
And so she's like petting him. And I was like, oh, thank God. Like she knows he's cool, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, hey, this is my dog. His name is Kunta. Like he's actually really sweet. She goes, oh, this is Kunta. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, how do you know? So I'm like asking her like, yeah, this is my dog. And she was like, oh, thank God. I'm like, well, now I'm like confused, you know?
Yeah.
And she was like, I'm happy that, because where I live, like I said, it's a horse ranch.
Yeah.
So like, you don't, and some people, you'd be amazed how many times black people, like, or white, specifically white people, don't believe I live there. Like police, I've called the police to call like about gunshots and shit.
Yeah.
Come to my house and will question if I live in my own house, right?
Yeah.
Crazy shit.
What's the there's a black guitarist that lives in Texas. He did the Justice League theme.
Oh yeah, and he got questioned at his house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he had a whole song about that.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. You'd be amazed. You'd be
yeah.
amazed how many times, like, you know, it's funny when you see it on the news. When it happens to you in real life, you're like, oh shit, like
Yeah.
that's fucking like wow. But yeah, like she saw homeless and she saw this. She was like, I didn't know black people lived here. We're like, yeah. She was like, oh, I was just happy white people didn't have a dog named Kunta. For those who do not know, Kunta Kinte is the name of a famous slave in the book Roots.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to do any root juice.
Yeah. Funny enough, Roots is a historical fiction. Fun fact for you.
Didn't they remake it like a couple years ago?
They
or something
did. It was really good. It was a good remake. But yeah, just for fun fact, Alex Haley lied about little smidges about his family's history. So historical fiction technically is the genre of Roots.
Yeah.
Very wild. But that to say about Kunta is the fact that the news lady or the mail lady knew who he was because they talk about him so much at the post office about how good of a dog he is.
Oh.
So now we have another mail guy, and this one's a guy, and he brings him treats.
Nice.
So now it's just this thing where like the local post office has a cool thing about Kunta. My dog also, like, the 5 acres isn't enough land for him to roam, so he just goes off.
Yeah.
And I had a friend who, so I live on Street. I had a friend who lived on like one day, my friend calls me. It's like 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm going out to let the horses out of the barn. I'm petting Kunta. I get a call. Hey man, is Kunta back in your yard? Yeah, he right here. Where else would he be? Oh, well, I saw him down by my house, so I gave him a ride back to your house. You gave him a. He's like, yeah. So it's funny. I didn't know this until like a few weeks ago. He actually had a video of it on Snapchat, and he like shared it because it does like the timeline or flashback thing. And there's a video of him like going, "Come on, Kunta," and Kunta's in this middle of this parking lot, just gets in the car and he drops him off in my house, and I'm like, what the fuck, And it's shit like that you're just like it's a lady who keeps a horse at her house and she dog grooms. So for because she's like family friend, at the point she's like family to us.
Yeah.
She'll like take my dogs and groom. Even though my dogs are outdoor dogs, they'll still get groomed because we fancy like that.
Yeah.
But she like groomed him, and now she'll like bring him back, and she'll tell me, she's like, oh, everyone at the groomers, they love Kunta. Like, I'm just like, so now they only see him like maybe 2-3 times a year, maybe.
Yeah.
But every time they see Kunta, oh, it's our favorite dog.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? and the way I got this dog, I'm sorry, I really like to talk about Kunta.
Dude, you're good.
He's a fucking enigma. The way that I got this dog, shit you not, my dog died in high school. I paid $25 and traded a red PlayStation God of 3 edition for him.
Oh, I remember the red God of War 3 editions.
And it had the slide top.
Yep.
Yeah, I traded that for him because I was originally going to pay for it.
Yeah.
But I bought it off a pawn store, and I paid for it. I traded that because the girl wouldn't take. I offered my laptop as collateral, and I was like, "Yo, let me just cut some more yards. I'll pay you for it."
Yeah.
So she didn't take that. So I was like, "Fuck it, I'll just trade the PlayStation 3. I don't really play video games like that any fucking way. No big deal." And $25 cash, that's good enough.
Yeah.
Traded those things to her. We shook hands, which, legally for me, that's the end of a deal. I don't know if you ever saw Django. Of course you have.
Yeah.
In Django, here in this county, we shake
That
hands.
was so
right?
funny in theaters.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ooh,
No, that was the most, you could have said that was a fucking 3D or something like that because Django in theaters was an experience because I was like one of the few white couples in there. And then like every white person, whenever that word would go out or anything that happened in that movie, it was like every white person would look at the black people in the crowd and be like, am I allowed to laugh? Okay, laugh. There's a delayed laugh from the white group.
It's funny. I remember I saw it in Chicago. It was me, my aunt, and my mom. The three of us went to go see it, but we were also on the south side, so we didn't get to see it. Yeah, we didn't get that. That's funny. I didn't think about looking at white people. But yeah, no, but back to Kunta, so I like shaking hands so the deal was over. And so he's in the car and he's like a puppy. Like Kunta was like in my hand. He was so tiny.
Yeah.
And I'm looking around and I don't see any other dogs at this house. Like no dogs. So I'm like, where the fuck did this dog come from? So I asked him, like, yo, like, how'd you get this dog?
Yeah.
Oh, we found him. I was like, did I just give away shit for a stray? Like now I'm kind of hot.
Yeah.
But now I got the dog, So I'm like, fuck it. So I take the dog home and like at first I didn't like him because he would like just yap.
Yeah.
And cow dogs are yappers, like especially as puppies.
You're just sitting over there like, I should have been fucking playing God of War 3.
I mean, I was so fucking mad. I was so mad. But I will say, and again, like back to our conversation about like how just God just does things and you just kind of go, fuck yeah, like karma. Some people call it karma. Like the PlayStation 3 that I had sold her, including the controller, was broken. Like the little door, it slid closed, but you had to kind of, the little motor was a little off. And the controller and the analog joysticks didn't work. So I think we cleared up even. I think it cleared up even, But I always tell, and so she messaged me several times.
That's a hell of a barter.
Oh, man, I think I won. And because I'm sure she doesn't have the PlayStation 3 anymore.
No.
So sadly, I still have the dog.
It's PlayStation 2.5.
So she had messaged me. I mean, this woman would message me several times like, how's my dog? Where's my dog? Like, and I'm like, yo, here's my address. Come get him. Bring back the $25 and the PlayStation 3 with the controller and I don't think I gave her any games. But I was like, just bring that shit back. We'll call it even. Well, here we are. 8 years later. My dog has been on NPR. He's gonna be in some commercials. He's in like TV shots because like I said, on a horse ranch, people like to come out like recently have been coming to want to film stuff at my house, like with the horses and stuff. And this fucker doesn't believe in like he's the star.
Yeah.
So anytime there are people at the house, he has to be in the circle.
Yeah.
So and he's like, and I always have this rules like if you had a dog, and I believe this in anyone's house, the dog lives here, I don't.
Yeah.
So if you come to my house and the dog's hanging out with us, it's only me who's gonna be like, hey bro, you gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
Besides that, he's with us. This is where he lives. He knows this shit better than y'all do.
Yeah.
So with homeless, it's just one of those things where I never thought, and like we talk about having your first dog, especially in your 20s, it's been something else to kind of look back and be like, wow, what a fucking dog. Like it hits me how much he really has impacted my life.
Yeah.
He can jump over fences.
Yeah.
He likes to ride on the back of tractors. We have like a little 4x4 he likes to ride on. And you're just like, what the fuck goes through your brain? I come from a divorced home.
Yeah.
And I'm my mom's only child, and my dad's other kids go like 18 years. Like I have two biological siblings, and my dad just adopted a whole bunch of dudes. I say it like that, but that's what they are, like cowboys.
Like me on Grindr.
That's hilarious. That makes you a sugar daddy if you're adopting.
Diabetes.
No, screaming. So, but yeah, like my parents got divorced when they split when I was born, really, and then got divorced. Their divorce was finalized when I was about 3.
Yeah.
So I've never known 2 parents in a household.
Yeah.
So that's actually been a benefit. You know, like some people
Yeah.
have divorced parents and it's like weird because dad or mom has to leave the house and then
Yeah.
everyone's going to stay in there. So thank God my parents were like, let's
Yeah.
knock this shit out quickly.
Yeah.
So, but my parents were so good in public together. Even my best friend didn't know my parents were divorced until he came to spend the night
Really?
in the house. Oh, shit you not. He was like, yo, where's your mom at?
Yeah.
And I was like, home. Because to me, it was still like an odd thing for someone to ask. I'm like,
Yeah.
she's at home. Fucking
Yeah.
mean. He's like, what do you mean she's at home? Like, we're at your house. I'm like, yeah, she's at her house, you
Yeah.
know? So, but I tell my friends now, because now my friends are starting to have kids, and some of them, you know, like I have some friends who they don't get along with their exes, their baby mamas, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy for my friends who, like, have a partner who, have a co-parent that they can be, like,
Yeah.
dependent with.
Well, at the end of the day, it's not the kid's fault.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and I'm
And-
happy that I have friends who are like mature enough because I have heard some stories, and man, it is just like baffling
Yeah.
how shitty like fucking parents like a parent can be.
Yeah.
You know, like I mean, it just blows in, you know, and I know humans are humans. Like, you know, at 27, my dad and I went to therapy like a few months ago. But the thing is, my dad and I didn't have to go to therapy because of our relationship.
Yeah.
We just went for like a cool little check-in thing, you know.
Yeah.
But it was just kind of like, man, the fact that I have that privilege
Yeah.
to have a parent who's down to like, and it was his idea.
Yeah.
So like to have that is like awesome.
Yeah.
Because I feel so bad when I hear people tell me stories about their parents. I'm like, damn, like y'all's parents, like, and not to be mean, it's just y'all parents fucking suck. Like, you know, and maybe because like just like the world I have grown up in.
Yeah.
Just never feel like you really need to have like, you know, a marriage or you know,
Yeah.
just to be a good parent. Like being a good parent doesn't determine like how good of a what relationship you're in at all.
Well, what it dawned on me, especially when I went to therapy, you know, towards the end of my last divorce, you know, therapy saved a lot of stuff and, you know, kind of it helped me connect the dots a lot of stuff on my stuff. Dealt with my sexuality and stuff like that. Because I'm a very shame-driven individual.
Yeah.
I was sexually assaulted from my best friend when I was.
Sorry.
Oh, no,
and
no.
then you just went right into it. I'm so sorry. I'm
It's
so
good, it's good,
sorry.
it's good.
Oh, and here I am.
We
on
can
the hill.
retake that.
I was just on the hill talking about how bad, and then I thought you were gonna get into a kink thing. I am
No,
so
I mean,
sorry.
well, I mean, I do love a good head now, but
so sorry.
no, but
So
no.
sorry.
Like when I was a teen, that's kind of my thing with religion. Is like my best friend forced me to blow him, and like him and his mom with the church kind of helped like shame me, like, hey, if no one's gonna believe you because you're not in our church, kind of thing. Like,
Holy fuck.
so that's why my religion thing is like I dealt with shame for like 20 years, kind of thing. Like my whole body and everything, just I'm wired for shame.
Yeah.
I didn't deal with my sexuality for 20 years, you know, and I was suicidal twice and stuff like that. And therapy helped me deal with that shit. But what I was getting at was, what were we talking about?
We were talking about like, you know, growing as adults and having when you have parents who are supportive
Oh,
and
yeah.
things like that. Yeah.
So what I was getting at was therapy really made me collect this dot that our parents were just kids growing up trying to do the best they could.
Yeah.
Like just because they had a certain age limit, like, you know, I'm 34, getting ready to be 35. That's around the time my parents had me.
Yeah.
And it's
So
like
me.
they were still just kids trying to figure out the day and go to a 9-to-5 job, trying to put food on the table, just trying to figure this shit out day by day.
Yeah.
They weren't fucking gods of fucking parenting or anything like that.
Right.
And when you start to look at your parents as you get older as just other people that you hang out with that happen to be your parents, it changes the relationship a little bit. And it's so much more rewarding in my opinion. Like I have a better relationship with my parents in the last 2 years than I had my first 33.
Yeah, no, like I like I said, because I had like 2 individual parents, right?
Yeah.
Like, and like I said, my parents were great co-parents. But my dad is 40 years older than I am. My mom is 35 years older
Yeah.
than me. So I've only grown up with like old people.
Yeah.
And when you get to experience like having a 50-year-old dad as a 10-year-old,
Yeah.
and you see like how he looks back,
Your perspective's different.
yeah, because now you see the perspective of like the other day, my dad and I were talking, and you know, it kind of hit me a little bit harder than I thought it would. But he was just like, and this is like years. I guess it wasn't the other day; it was like years ago. But now we've talked about it. So common, it's hard. It's common for us now.
Yeah.
But years ago, I cried when he talked about it. He was like, you know, I'm kind of on like the latter end of my life.
Yeah.
Because my dad had bladder cancer a few years ago, and he pulled through. But he was just like, you know, my mortality is starting to come through.
Yeah.
And my dad was a firefighter. He was a cowboy. He raced cars. You know, my dad was cool as shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, wow, like my superhero really can die,
Yeah.
you know? And when you look at life from a perspective like that at 20, 24,
Yeah.
20, now 27,
It makes you question your own morality a little bit.
it That's one. Like I've never, like every day I'm like scared. Like, oh shit, might be in a car wreck.
Mortality,
more
like not morality, mortality.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah. But it's more of just like for me, it makes me think of like what I want to do.
Yes.
Because when I talk to my dad and he tells me about things he wish he would have done different, I'm like, fuck. Like, at 27, I think about what would I have done different. Like I got diagnosed with ADHD last summer, and life changing.
Can I ask, how did you start that process of getting diagnosed with that? Like, where did you go? Or like, because like I've struggled with stuff like that, and I've been like, I'm going through my therapist, and I'm like, I'm working with my depression, my anxiety, and stuff like that. But I know that there's something there that would help.
Yeah,
I just don't know how to start that process of getting that.
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm really happy you asked it. Man, we could do like 3 of these interviews. I really like talking to you.
Thanks, man. I like talking to you too. I'm sad to see you go for a bit because like I feel like again. I'm never the guy that's like, hey, I'm Jared Ralphie Allen, nice to meet you at the club. Even though I should be for a business standpoint, but I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
I could get to know a person a lot better if you come over to my couch and talk for a couple hours.
For sure.
And then I feel like you're a really good friend. Yeah. Because like I'm more down to earth here.
For sure. No, I get you. Yeah. No, like I'm gonna be real. I'm just an asshole. I don't talk to anybody. Like I only talk to people I'm like, I fuck with.
Yeah.
Outside that, I'm like, nah, prove to me. It's bad to say. I kind of be like, you got to prove to me you're funny. Like if you're not funny, it's hard for me to want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Because it's just like. And like some people I can encourage, like I want to see like, yeah, like if you're a good spirit and you tried your best, I'm like, yeah. But if I know comedy's not for you, I'll be like, yeah, I don't want to like boost you up. Like this might, like I feel so bad. There was a lady, I say girl. It's a lady. She was like adorable, little 5'2" blonde woman. Her dad came, he was a geriatric as fuck. They came to the show. And I shit you not, Jared. It was at Hunt Club. And this is when it's indoors. I don't know if you've done Hunt Club indoors.
Yes, it's different from outdoors. Way different.
Fucking wild, right? Yeah. And there's, I don't know if they still go, but there used to be a Wednesday crew that goes to Hunt Club every Wednesday and they just get drunk. They don't give a fuck about the show.
Yeah.
And thankfully, they were always nice to me. Like, they're always like, oh, ThunderWof, yeah, we're cool. Having a nickname has really been cool.
Yeah.
But this lady did comedy and she was so quiet like this. And I was like, yo, I'm sitting at the back of the bar like, oh.
Yeah.
It's not for her.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to go up there and be like, hey, good job, because I don't want her to. And it's not like she can't do it, but it's just like, it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
But that all said, fuck, I don't know how I spurred off into
It's cool.
that. But back to the ADHD, that's what your question was. So
that's how you spurred off of it.
Yeah. You all see it in live time.
Yeah.
To answer your question about that, I worked at a school that had a lot of children on the spectrum. And at one point, like when I first started working there, I was like, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Like,
yeah.
What the fuck is this? By my 4th year there, I had so many similarities that I was like, huh. Like I saw myself in them more than I really expected.
Yeah.
And I was like, something's not. And I was like, am I on the spectrum? Like at first I thought like I had autism. And so I went to my doctor and we talked. And he asked me some questions and I answered. And he was like, okay, what about this? And then he said, do you ever feel jittery and want to raise your hand and answer questions? I'm like, yeah, like, fuck yeah. Like, I know a lot of shit. And he's like, okay, what about, like, thought process? Do you always feel like you have a new thought process all the time? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, you're just like me. He's like, I have ADHD, and it sounds like you have the same thing. I was like, fuck yeah.
You're describing me right now.
Oh, yeah. No, and I'm telling you, like, it's one of those things, and I think it's definitely, like, I know they say, like, the left brain, right thing isn't a real thing, but I do believe there's, like, a creative brain and, like, a logical brain.
Unless you're in Batman the Animated Series and Scarecrow has you under hypnosis and you're reading the books and they're backwards.
Was it called Fear Gas, right? Is that what it's called?
Well, I'm just thinking, like, that was a deep cut. Like, that was a deep nerd. Yeah. If, like, one person, like, one of the 54 viewers that watches this episode is going to be like, oh, yeah, Batman Animated Series, whenever fucking Scarecrow had him. Oh, no, it was Mad Hatter. Mad Hatter had Bruce.
Oh, that makes sense because, like, that's how Hatters get crazy is because of, like, the tanning.
He had him in the machine. They were trying to reveal who Batman was or something like that. And so they had him in this machine that was making him, like, have this, like, it was basically like a VR headset.
Oh, yeah.
And his parents were still alive. And he wasn't Batman.
And then Batman had to figure it out, and he did, like, the reverse shit. And, yes,
he found out that when you're dreaming, you can't read books because the print is, like, backwards.
Yeah,
and that's always in my mind, like, I'll know if I'm dreaming because the print's backwards. Like, as a 5-year-old, I was just like, I want to remember that.
Yeah, I remember that episode. Wow, that's fucking wild. R.I.P. Kevin Conrad.
Yeah.
But to continue to make sure I answer your question, please say you have it.
I have it lit up.
Oh, that's baller.
Like, it lights up, and it fucking has the whole display.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Kevin Conroy's my man.
Yeah. No, anyway. But to
sorry, we're squirreling everywhere.
You're good. No, you see it in live action, like I said. No, but he said that, and it just hit me different, and it took me kind of like a time to process. Like that's something my dad and I had talked about in therapy, because my dad is 68.
Yeah.
So like my father, over the years has come to understand mental health.
Yeah.
ADHD is now a new monster for him because I still, like, my father and I live together.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's little things like I'll leave something somewhere. Or I lose keys all the time. Like, I lose keys like no fucking joke. And when I was a kid, my mom even made a little sign. Like, she sewed a piece of paper on my shirt that said, make sure you bring your keys home.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, it sounds abusive now, but it was just like my parents didn't know how to deal with that.
Yeah.
Because both of my parents are, like, very, very, like, my mother was a flight attendant. My dad was a firefighter. My parents are very, like, technical. Both of my parents are extremely punctual.
Yeah.
Like, my parents are, like, very old school. They don't lose. My mother the other day, like, when I'm leaving for this trip, my mother pulled out a duffel bag from, like, the 80s. It was like, this is my first duffel bag. I'm like, how the fuck do you still have it? Like, how have you know how many backpacks I've lost?
Yeah.
I've lost 3 backpacks in my life. You think, like, and these are, like, $90 backpacks I've spent money on. I'm like, where the fuck is that backpack?
You're like Peter in every Spider-Man game.
Exactly.
The collectibles, you gotta find those fucking lost backpacks.
Yeah, just losing shit. So that was one of the things. So, like, when we went to therapy, my therapist had talked about his son. And thankfully, my therapist was black, which helped. And, like, he was middle-aged. No, because seriously.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, I didn't mean to laugh at that, but it was just the way you said it made me, like, chuckle.
yeah, no, you're good. Like, when I had a white therapist, me and my dad went and saw her, and he was like, you know, white people don't believe shit. Or, like, white people always say shit.
Yeah.
So when you hear from a black therapist, and he's like, yeah, my son had ADHD, my wife has it. He's like, bro, I pick up shit after the two of them all the time.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know, the thing is, you'd be impressed by how intelligent they are. But then just be like, how the fuck did you leave a sock on top of the refrigerator? Like, what the fuck? So, like, my dad lately has just been more patient about it. But to make sure, hopefully I answered your question. It's more of just like
Talking to your general doctor first?
Yeah, like, that's what I did. Yeah, talk to my doctor, then talk to my therapist, and my therapist suggested me talking to a psychiatrist, start taking, like, some medication for it.
Yeah.
Because he said it's like a night and day belief. But, like, yeah, but the thing I will tell you, like, when you start going down this path, like, I'm a year into this journey of, like, learning how to live with ADHD.
Yeah.
The thing that hurts, and I'm saying this not to scare you, but when my therapist has said it hit me. You feel like you've lost a lot of time.
Yeah.
And you be amazed by, like, wow, like, you know, like I said, I'm a smart cookie. I know I'm smart. I always tell people I'm smooth brain, which sometimes I really am. But, like, if I would have known that I wasn't lazy in high school, I just wasn't focused, you know, man, I would have gone to college. I would have finished through college. Like, my life would be so drastically different. It would have been what I probably would have wanted it to be.
But
it's not like I'm disappointed where it is, though.
Yeah.
You know, so I will say, like, you will feel, and like I said, at 27, the gap I have is, like, the last, like, 15 years for sure. So I pray that you get through that process and, like,
I think I'm already on that journey. Not to interrupt. It's just more like, since therapy and stuff like that, like, maybe I'm in the right spot to actually do that, because, like, I do feel that already from, like, just me coming out and, like, bi and, like, dealing past my suicides and my, like, basically just living my life story. And, like, when we talked about, like, comedy, like, how, like, some people don't want rape jokes or want, like, the sexual assault jokes, like, I get that, but there's a way that, like, some of that's my story and I just have to tell it sometimes.
Yeah, no.
And I'm doing it in, like, in a way that's smart or, you know, intelligent kind of way.
Sure.
That's also where I have the rules of, like, when you tell me not to do this certain type of joke, I'm like, well, that's kind of part of me. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's hard for me not to cut that part out, but I can do it intelligently.
Right.
But also, it's just like,
I also believe there's a difference between, like, a survivor telling that joke versus, like, you know.
Well, I just think, hands down, if you just want to be general about comedy, I think most audiences can tell intent.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And they can tell a tone of voice.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you come in there with intent, tone of voice, and they know you're punching down, being a jackass.
Yeah.
They're going to laugh.
Right.
And I think for anybody to have rules and kind of paint the audience as dumb beforehand is kind of demeaning to the audience.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. We're all adults.
Right, yeah. No, like I said, I'm all good for, like,
Yeah.
I don't believe, like, we censor what type of jokes.
Yeah.
Like, just try not to put,
Yeah.
like, don't make it your thing. You
Well,
know?
again,
but you're fine. Like, you're not that person.
But again, it's like, you know your audience too. Like, if I go to sign up for the Looney Bin and it's clean, I know what I'm getting into.
Mm-hmm.
I signed up for it. I'm going to abide by those rules.
Yeah.
Like, don't be a jackass or an asshole.
Dude,
you know what I
it amazes
mean?
me when people come to Starlight, and I'm like, Brett and Laura both tell you the rules of Starlight before you start. And, you know, I am respectful of comedians. Like, if it's your time, like, I don't know if you know this, I genuinely, like, I will cuss out hecklers. Yeah. Sometimes.
Yes.
Only if it's, like, that annoying to me. But I also believe it's part of the comedian's job to be able to hold the show. You know, like, one time at Cellar Dweller, somebody was heckling, I think, like, during Missy's set. And no, it wasn't Missy, it was somebody else. And I was like, yo, we trying to watch these fucking jokes. You know, shit like that. So I'm cool to, like, sometimes. Very, very rare. But
Yeah, because a lot of comedians, and that was the biggest thing for a lot of, maybe it's just me because of the public speaking background and yours too, like we talked about. There's so many people in this scene that are just either new or just don't know how to control the room.
yeah.
They give up the control of the mic.
If you can't control the room, bro, it's not my job to help you in the audience. But like you, if you roast me if I see you, I'm not gonna trip about it because like we're homies.
Yeah.
But if I don't know you and you roast at me, bro, you're hostile. Like I'm about to be mean as fuck to you.
And my thing is like, again, when I come from like when I want to roast or I want to like crowd work people, I'm doing it intelligently. So where if I don't know you particularly, if I am gonna for some reason do a joke about ThunderWof, I'm at least gonna make it intelligent or something like that, to where you're gonna be like, okay, that was at least clever.
That was clever, yeah.
And then I might earn some respect from you, but I'm not gonna be like, hey, ThunderWof, I'm gonna just start just doing random shit and just try to bash you or something like that. Because
I'm kind of disappointed no one's made like a pun out of my name yet. Like no one's been like, yo, Fatter Wolf or some shit like that. Like I'm kind of upset. I haven't heard any good ones yet. I'm kind of upset. Thunder Loser, something like, I'm just like, I'm horny for it. So if you want to roast me, like please come up with something wrong, like the name variations. Like I'm so excited. At the same time, it also is me giving you the joke about how to roast me.
I know.
Only I can roast myself. But no, I know anybody can roast me. Spady used to roast me in high school. It's all good. But no, like as far as
I just thought you were a fan of Thor.
I'm dead. No, I told this story.
Loving
a few weeks
ThunderWof.
ago. The way I came up with the name ThunderWof was listening to Young Thug in high school, and he would say "Thugger, Thugger, baby," and I thought he was saying "Thunder, Thunder, baby." And so I was like, "Oh shit, that's cool." Because at the time I tried to rap.
I thought it was a reference to like being part native or something like that, or anything like that.
No, it's close. So originally the name was Apache ThunderWof. And Apache was because that's the street my uncle and dad, like my family grew up on. And my uncle's nickname when he rodeoed was the Apache Kid. So I was like, oh, that's baller as fuck. So I used to call myself Apache ThunderWof. But then I was like, it's too much to explain the Apache thing.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, so are you Apache? I'm like, no. Like, I do know Indadi Bachol means like ThunderWof in Apache language, and that's about as much Apache as I know.
Yeah.
But I was like, all right, we'll drop that because I don't want to explain the street.
Is your brother named Lightning Coyote?
No, that's a good one. See, I always go with Lightning Dog, Lightning Coyote. That's a good one. Or Firefox. Those are always like the easiest.
Firefox.
Yeah, but that's like the website. So
Yeah, you're gonna get attacked by Chrome.
Right. I'm dead. No, Lightning Coyote. That's a good one.
Did you find Firefox on a Safari?
That's a good. You got any? What's another one? No, I was out exploring.
Oh, did you ask Jeeves?
Oh, Jeeves, that's a good one. I have to Bing that for later.
So nobody uses Bing. You're full of shit. But Bill Gates doesn't even use Bing.
Is Jeeves still up?
No.
Okay,
I think it's like
so.
Ask.com. I think it'll like reroute to Yahoo or something.
Oh no shit. Okay.
Like out of all those, nobody said Yahoo.
Yeah.
Nobody fucking fucks with Yahoo.
Yahoo. What a slogan. But to finish answering your question about the name, so I'm listening to Young Thug and I would go by Apache ThunderWof, and I told the story like a few weeks ago to show. Because this dude had asked me. It's more amazing to me
I just thought of ThunderWof and my mind immediately went to Rainforest Cafe.
That's hilarious.
I was like, what can be puns for thunder out like Rainforest Cafe?
That's hilarious. That's funny.
It works as a fat joke. It works as a fat joke.
We love a good 2-for-1. We love a good 2-for-1.
Come on, fist bump that. Rainforest Cafe.
Bam. For Rainforest Cafe. I love
Wonder Twin powers activate. Form of obesity.
I was going to do like the action. What did it say? Form of a bucket of water. But no, like.
That's like cock, and that's the gayest thing you ever said.
Yeah, you should have seen me in my high school days on the debate team. We used to sit in each other's laps and everything. I still call my homeboys cutie pies. I'm like, what's up, B?
I wasn't on the debate team. I was in the academic team.
Word, okay.
Like the quiz, like the Jeopardy kind of things.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch King of the Hill back in the day?
Yeah, that's when they did they had
the academic team one. They had like a quiz bowl kind of episode when Bobby was there because he would like do all the pop culture stuff.
Right, that's right.
That was me.
Yeah, because the kids were mean as fuck.
Yeah. So like I was in like the gifted and talented growing up all the way to like.
You have someone at your house.
Oh, 1 second.
Cool. This is a fun podcast. People just showing up, leaving. Is this common?
Oh.
Well, while Jared's not here, I'm gonna talk some more so that way y'all can just have a little insight about me. Still want to steal shit from Jared's office. It's really fucking cool. Has these cool Megazords and shit. Really fuck with like half these Power Rangers. Yeah, really like with these Power Rangers. Really got some cool Transformer shit. Really like raw shit. He also has like the 80s Black Falcon and Captain Falcon. That's fucking cool. Get to see the. Yeah. Oh, he's telling somebody about me. Cool. All right, I'll be quiet.
This episode of Unloading Meat is not brought to you by your favorite local dispensary, who could be sponsoring this episode. Hey, local dispensaries, I love this bong, this cartridge and pin. Ooh, this new cartridge I haven't opened yet. What's that? What? This ad's for non-smoking? They don't want drug use in this ad? Oh. What was I saying? I'm high as fuck. Is that thing on?
As far as like, but to quickly wrap up the story about ThunderWof.
Yeah.
Like I said, I heard Thugger Baby, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll go with that. Like,
Yeah.
Thunder. And then I realized he wasn't saying Thunder, and then I was like, yo, okay, well, we'll just stick with Thunder. So I started going by Apache Thunder.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, there's something.
Because I saw that on like
missing.
Facebook. That's what your handle, isn't it? Like Apache Thunder.
Instagram. My Instagram
Instagram.
handle is Apache ThunderWof _18.
That's where I thought it was a native reference.
Yeah, no. And the only reason I haven't changed is because like I came up with it, like I said, my junior year of high school.
Yeah.
And I shit you not, you would have thought I like fuck the baddest teacher in school. Like everybody gave me fist bumps. Even teachers were like, "Yo, what's your Instagram?" Like, because other kids are talking about it. And my teacher's like, "What's the name?" And I'm like, "Apache ThunderWof."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Damn, that's cool as fuck."
Yeah.
And so it just became like it was like that's like the weirdest moment of popularity. And it's so funny now because like, you know, I'm so used to being ThunderWof, but I'm also Chaz, you know? And so when I go around and people are like, ThunderWof, and I'm like, yo, what's up? What's good? You know, my students would call me ThunderWof. And I'm like, no, it's either Chaz or Mr. Stevens, bro. Like one of the two.
So what would you like personally want me to call you as now that we're homies? Just Chaz?
It's either one, honestly. Okay. Like in all seriousness, like I'm not one of those people who's like, the only name I get upset if someone calls me my first legal name. I'll tell you that after the show.
Yeah. Bennington?
No.
Oh.
No.
Chester?
No, here, where's I left my wallet in the car.
Sebastian. We knew it was Sebastian.
Oh, I'm cool with Sebastian. Sebastian's a cool name. No, you won't guess it. It's not like a very like odd name or anything. It's just like old. Plus, I share a name with my dad and my grandfather.
Remington Steele.
Close. That's actually really close. It's I'll just say it's
Oh,
yeah. It's
close.
Yeah, full name is. It's very regal. Apparently.
Well, mine's
Wow.
Yeah.
Where does the Ralphie come from?
so.
Is it bad to say I thought you went by Ralphie just because like you were fat?
No. Okay. So, growing up, I looked like the kid from A Christmas Story.
Okay.
And I also had blonde hair and I combed it over and I had glasses.
The glasses, yeah.
So like everybody called me Ralphie growing up, always. And I never even saw the movie till I was like in high school.
Huh,
and I was just like, because like it was more like a resentment thing. Like everybody called me Ralphie, and I was like, "Fuck you guys," and they did it as like a joke kind of thing. So I hated the name Ralphie until like I got in like high school or college years, and I kind of just accepted it. Like it's a nickname, it just stuck.
For sure.
So even my first Twitter handle was Jared or Ralphie because I was like kind of split personality. Because half my friends knew me as Jared, half the people knew me as Ralphie.
Right.
And still this day, if you go to Bartlesville or Dewey, people will be like, "Hey, what's up, Ralphie?" They just know me as that.
How come you don't choose that as your like?
So
first name?
when I was trying to think of this business stuff like that, like
I guess you would be like Ralphie May would probably. Yeah, that makes sense.
So when I do this business, like the unloading meat thing and everything like that, I spent time looking for names and stuff like that because I want to, you know, I'm a planner.
Yeah.
Like I want to do big picture stuff. So like my thoughts are, if I ever got on a fucking set or anything like that, if I ever joined SAG or anything like that, I had to have a name that's not taken. And there's already a Jared Allen, who's a football player and an actor. There's an actor named Jared Allen, and Ralphie May.
Yeah.
So I would have to change my name if I used either of those names.
Right.
So that all formed into the Jared Ralphie Allen, to where it made a brand kind of thing for this, and it just kind of merged everything together and fit.
All right, unloading meat. That's the other one I was curious.
Okay, this will be all we cut. I tell people in secret.
No, I was gonna say like, when I first saw it like on Instagram, like saw the page, I was like, it's a barbecue podcast.
Yeah.
But then I kept seeing comedians. I was like, And then when I saw you, I was like, I put the two and two together, how they were connected. I was like, word.
That's why I have the ham hock in there. Just another thing. They're like, what the fuck?
I got beef with that. That was one of my nicknames as a kid.
Ham hock?
One of my dad's cowboy buddies used to call me as a kid. I was a little pork kid. Little fatty. He called me ham hawk.
Oh.
It's cool.
I'm just a big fan of pork steaks.
Oh, that's fair. That's funny. For Christmas, the lady who grooms dogs, her and her husband brought us one of those like smoked hams, you know? It's like salted and cured and shit. You just cut it off and fry it. Yeah, my dad's, God bless my father. He gave it to a friend to smoke it. And I was like, it's already cooked.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you smoking it for?
Yeah.
And then that dude was like, it smells bad. You should throw it away. And then he like gave it to his dogs.
Oh.
And bro, I can't tell you like to this day how upset I was. Like to this day, I still be like, my dad's going to a home.
Yeah.
Like, God, yeah, no, that ham would have been the coolest fucking thing to have.
I love ham, man.
Yeah, man. My aunt once told me if I didn't eat 5 pieces of ham, I'd get a whooping. Because I had put 5 on my plate. She's like, you better eat all 5 pieces. I mean, they were big slices.
See, and like, not that I'm blaming my parents, but I grew up with like, you better clean your plate. Like, whatever you put on your plate, you better finish it. And so, obviously.
Yeah. No, it's amazing. Like, I saw a tweet about that the other day that was like, why do we teach our kids that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, it makes no fucking sense. It makes no fucking sense.
Okay, so maybe this is my anxiety or anything like that, but like, or maybe it's just like I'm grew up poor for a while or anything like that. I have this obsession of like not wasting food.
Yeah, no, it makes
like
sense.
hardcore will have anxiety about it. Like, so to the point of like, sounds so bad parenting or anything like that. But like when my kids get like a kid's meal and they don't eat like all the thing, they just wanted the toy. I'm like, you just wasted like $5 of my money for the toy. I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, do you? Oh, that's funny.
It's even doing this. You can't hear it.
Uh-huh.
It's doing the Spanish songs.
Yeah, I hear it. Yeah.
Oh, you hear it?
Yeah.
So,
you know, the crazy thing about like when my parents had to like trade me off.
Yeah.
Took me to Borders.
Really?
Yeah. Dropped me off at Borders. Got picked up by the other parent. Well, they didn't drop me off. They wait till the other parent get there. You know?
Now there's no more borders or anything like that.
Yeah, no. You know, the funny thing is there's a Kanye West lyric. Shit you not.
Oh, you can hear it. Yeah.
The Kanye West lyric is like, we met at. It was talking about like divorce and dropping off kids. He's like, we met at Borders, and I was like, yo, what the fuck, bro? Like that's me. Like the song's about like having a divorce and like taking your kids back and forth. I was like, how the fuck is that? Like, is that like a thing I just didn't know? All divorced kids got picked up at the fucking Borders. Like, this border that would have kept Borders open if they would have just marketed themselves as the perfect place for divorced kid drop off.
Yeah. Fuck FYE.
Yeah, fuck FYE. God, that's not even open
I
anymore,
can
is
say
it?
that Kanye helped me influence my daughter's name.
What?
No, the other one. My oldest one's name is
Yeah.
And like we call her
because she named her Alexis.
Yeah, She couldn't afford a car, so she named her daughter Alexis.
Yeah.
So I'm like, whenever we were shortening it to like some grandparents were like, oh, we can call her Alexis. I'm like, fuck you won't. I was like, fuck you won't.
I'm crying. That's funny as fuck. That's a deep cut track to like have. Yeah, that's funny. She couldn't afford a car, so her daughter like And then she used to. I don't know if it's I don't think it's on the CD version, but in the original song, it's like. And a fat friend, her nickname was Minivan. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Is that in the original, in the CD? I don't know if it's on the CD. Like, I don't know how deep of a Kanye fan you are, which I understand is controversial now. I mean, I grew up with Kanye, like, Graduation, Late Registration, like, those were my soundtracks. That was the only CD my mom would let me play. Really? It was Late Registration, because, like, my mom didn't let me listen to rap for a long time as a kid. Yeah. It wasn't until I got to, like, middle school, because then I meet other kids, my mom the same way. Yeah, so, like, Late Registration, we had the bootleg CD. And we used to like take long drives. Like my mom's from Chicago. Yeah. So we used to drive to Chicago. Then we had like cousins in Indiana. So we would like make these long drives, go to Texas sometimes. And on the car ride, it'd be my mom's music. And then I got one CD. Yeah. So it's funny. It went from like Pokemon 2000, listening to the Power of One for like 10 minutes, like straight. Yeah. Or we listened to Late Registration. Yeah. So Late Registration was like the first rap album. Was it Late Registration or Graduation that had the Adam Levine song? Like, it was Late Registration. Yeah. So it's the opening track. Yeah. Well, first is the sketch. Yeah. With Bernie Mac, right? No, it's not Avion Crockett. It's D. Ray Davis. Oh, okay. Yeah, D. Ray Davis does the sketch. The Wake Up, Mr. West. Yeah, Wake Up, Mr. West. Yeah, Mr. West, Mr. West. Yeah, because you said you listened to. Yeah, if you listen to Late Registration is my favorite album. Yeah. But College Dropout. Yeah. Yeah, well, he does. It's a secret. I wish he would have kept it on in Graduation. Yeah. But it would have been so cool to have D. Ray on Graduation too. Just to finish out the trilogy with the bear. Yeah, especially with the bear. Exactly, especially with the bear. Yeah, I was Kanye. I know with the anti-Semitic stuff. Did you ever go to Kanye? Did you ever go to university.com? Oh yeah, it used to be his like blog site. And I used to go like in 7th grade. I used to be on University, like little games, and it was before he had dropped 808s and Heartbreak. Oh, okay. So yeah, go to University, and it was University. I think that's the album where people like officially first were like, "What the fuck, Kanye?" And like some people loved it, some people hated it. Yeah, no, and like for me, I was in 7th grade when Late Registration had dropped because Heartless had came out. Yeah. And for me personally, I fucking loved it. Like I was like, "This is cool as shit." He reinvented himself. He was trying to do new shit. And I think the other thing too is like his mom had just died. Yeah. So it was like a very emotional album, and I think like when My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy came out. Oh yeah. Talk about a fucking reset. Oh man. Yeah, that shit with Chris Rock. Oh,
is fucking
yeah.
hilarious.
Who taught you how to wear Jimmy shoes? I ain't never been to this part of Pussy Town before. That is the best. I've been to part of Pussy Town I ain't never seen before. I didn't even know this was in Pussy Town. That is the funniest fucking bit. Who taught you that? Yeezy taught me. That is the funniest shit. Who told you I did? Yeezy taught me. Yeah, my homeboy, that was his Twitter handle for everyone. Zemi taught me. That's
never been before.
I never been to this part of Pussy Town before. Yeah, that's fucking hilarious. No, I love that's they don't put skits on albums.
No,
anymore. Not a whole bunch.
I miss I miss stand up albums that had skits and stuff like back in the day, like Norm Macdonald had an entire album that's just like it's basically SNL skits, but they're fucking just audio.
Hell yeah. No, that's funny as shit. It's odd to say, like, I really don't like. I watch stand up,
yeah,
but I don't really watch a lot of stand up.
So my thing now, and maybe it's just because I'm so like I'm like I said, I'm trying to push really for my stand up and my podcasting stuff this year and stuff like that, but I really am scared of like overhearing a joke or something like that on another person's podcast or something like that, and like just hearing it and then like you remember
start telling it,
yeah, because like that's gonna happen. You gotta be kind of cognizant of that shit sometimes. And like my more thing is like when I watch stand up or podcasts, I'm the kind of guy that's like taking notes on like presentation or like stage presence or how they move. Yeah, we're
oh shit. Yeah, I actually do have to go.
Well, we can wrap it up.
Yeah,
man.
my dad locked himself out the house.
Oh shit.
At 4:17, so right on time. Yeah, let me give him a call.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I do want to wrap this up on a better, a more clean note.
Yeah.
I would like to say if I can wrap it up like this: the trajectory that I think this show has is definitely like far ahead than I think you expect it to be. I think this show is going to be really. This is a very relaxed show. It's very chill. Like I was like, oh, I'm excited to like answer a fuckload of questions, which I do like enjoy answering questions. Which you asked some good questions.
Thanks, man.
No, like I truly have enjoyed my time being here. Granted, I was like, fuck, I gotta drive to Bartlesville.
Yeah.
Which no shame in that. Like honestly, at first I thought Bartlesville was like Sapulpa or some shit. Like I was not expecting it to be this nice when I got here.
I will say that is the only thing that has gotten me some ego about it. Is throughout season 1, I didn't tell people I was in Bartlesville, mostly because I was trying to like be cognizant of my kids' safety and stuff like that a little bit.
Yeah.
But also, and this, I'm not gonna say names, but I had people cancel because they got booked, and the day of they figured out it's in Bartlesville. Like, oh, I'm not driving that far.
Yeah.
And so I was like, fuck, I'm just trying to say it's a Tulsa podcast for a while because that'll at least get people booked.
For sure. See,
And
I live in Turley, so like,
yeah,
it's 40 minutes from me, but I don't live I live like 5 minutes off of 75.
Well, what I was getting at is, without any ego, Josh Wolf drove from Tulsa to fucking here. Came down here for an hour, had a kick-ass time, and fucking even labeled his fucking podcast episode from Bartlesville.
Hell yeah.
And after that, I'm like, fuck, anybody can drive.
Yeah.
Because, well, my thought is, now you guys get a taste of what I do 3 times a week to go to these fucking open mics.
Yeah. Well, shit, like Lynn K.
Yeah.
Lynn K's a fucking boss. You know he lives in OKC?
Yes.
Like, yeah, bro. Like,
And
that's why I say, like, I commend. That's why it's hard for me to always say, like, oh, I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
You know? Because I don't put in the amount of effort as a lot of you do. Like, a lot of you, like,
you're an entertainer, though.
Yeah, like, I'm cool with that. Like, I always tell people, like, I'm an artist.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I like to describe myself as an artist, to give me, like, some more, like, space.
Yeah.
But I feel like with comedians who, like,
Tim
really
Burton looking
commit to
motherfucker.
this, thank you. People who,
I'm an
like,
artist.
commit to this, like this, or, like, people who do music full time, like, that shit's impressive to me. Like, I think someone who's able to dedicate themselves to a specific craft that hardcore and put the investment in the time deserves like the appraise.
And again, I know we have to wrap this up, but what I'll get at is there's been some people who are like, oh, you need to have so-and-so on this show because they've been in the scene longer. You shouldn't have this new comedian on here because like you have to get this person in the spot because they've been in the comedy for 5 years. And my thoughts are, I go by effort, I go by potential, and I go by people that want to fuck with me. And some of those people that were in the scene for 5-6 years, they still haven't reached out, so fuck them.
Yeah.
And like, no hard feelings, but like it's a two-way street. Like I'll do a handshake and try to meet people. Like, you were in the scene for a while, Zach Amon, people like that, like have really embraced and try to like, hey, nice to meet you and stuff like that. And you did good tonight.
For sure.
That shit matters to new people. And when I'll see people like Trash or somebody like that, that's like putting in a lot of fucking effort, but they're still trying to find their voice. And there's some people that dismiss the shit out of them just because of what their concept is.
I would like to end on this.
Yeah.
Trash is like the funniest fucking person to be.
Dude.
And okay, let me say it like this, and this might be where we might have to cut some things.
Okay.
I don't laugh at Trash like joke for joke.
Yeah.
But I laugh at Trash because I think I truly see Trash as Adult Swim in human form.
Oh yeah.
And I say that nicely. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that to be mean.
Yeah.
The amount of chaos that Trash has, it's its own fucking art form.
He's my
and
season. Yeah.
I know he rubs some feathers. Like,
Yeah.
I get it. I truly get it. But Trash is so fucking unique.
Yeah.
I can write a show about Trash.
Yeah.
Trash is like the most unique fucking comedian I have ever imagined. And that's coming from, and I'm not saying like I'm like the most unique,
Yeah.
but that's coming from me. And I'm like, fuck, like that shit's like, wow.
Well-
And the thing is, you would think he's this like McGruff, like kind of asshole. The sweetest fucking person.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so fucking nice, bro. And like, and I'm not saying this like again, not to be mean or anything like that. I am out of like most of the comedians in Tulsa, like some of them I know they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Like, there's some great comedians in Tulsa
Yeah.
who I'm like, yo, they're gonna go somewhere with this. I
Yeah.
can see it. Trash, who I'm not saying this like I don't think he won't or will. I'm just excited to see his path.
Yeah.
However it goes.
Yeah.
Like, I think Trash is tapped into something, I want to say almost primal.
Yeah.
Where it's like watching him, and I'm like, and you know why I really like watching Trash the most? I like watching people watch Trash.
Yeah.
And I think that's what always gets me.
Well, like literally the first night I went out to the open mic with Roscoe, and Roscoe took me out to the Colony afterwards, I met Trash. And I didn't know anybody. I was hanging out with Patrick from Session Lines because he was at a table. He's like, hey, come sit by me. And I asked Patrick, hey, can you film my set for me with my phone?
Yeah.
He goes, sure. Well, Trash had this little like contraption, like a phone thing, and he was recording.
Yeah.
I didn't know Trash. And Patrick goes, hey, why don't you ask him to borrow that stand? And I was like, well, I don't know him. I don't want to ask. It's a favor. He goes, well, I'll ask. So he went up to Trash and goes, hey, this guy wants to record a set. Would you mind letting him borrow that? And he goes, yeah, go ahead. Everybody needs to record their set.
yeah.
So he just let me borrow his tripod. And I did my set. And then I was like, man, that was really nice of you. And then I was like, man, I want to pay it forward. And I was like, hey, do you need a ride afterwards? He goes, yeah, I'm homeless. And I was like, okay, well, do you want to ride home? Or he's like, I don't have a car. I was like, do you want to ride home? He goes, yeah. And so I gave him a ride, and like that 10-minute conversation back afterwards made us friends.
Yeah.
And it was like, because he was so nice to me, a stranger, I wanted to pay it forward, and that forged a friendship. And like, I'll always remember that because like I was told by people like, don't fuck with Trash. He pulls his dick out, or don't do this. Trash is a weird guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, out of everybody in the club, a complete stranger, he let me borrow his fucking stand and let me record my shit, and has always been a gentleman, giving people weed, giving people whatever they need.
Yeah.
He's always there to help people. Like, why would I not want to fuck with this guy?
No, like deadass, like, and you know, I feel bad, and I say this not to be mean, and I'm not saying this like it like to hurt Trash or anything.
Yeah.
I hate that there's not really a market for Trash in Tulsa.
Yeah.
Like, I think Trash is onto something that I think is such a specific niche.
Yeah.
That it has to have its own crowd for it to be
Yeah.
like if he had like the cult following who I think he could build.
Yeah.
I think Trash would like kick our ass at shows,
Yeah,
bro.
I think so, too. Like,
his niche is so fucking specific.
Well, my thing is like, and I told him too, because like there was times where he got down. He's like, man, I see people like you and stuff like that got booked, and I'm still not getting booked. And we started around the same time. Like, well, you're not doing a stand up comedian like traditional role.
Yeah.
I was like, you can't compare it to me or anybody else, like Stephen Cryer or anybody that started around the same time. You're doing something completely different. You're doing some Andy Kaufman shit. You can't compare the timelines the same.
Yeah, no.
Like, you're doing something completely different. You're gonna have your own timeline, your own pace. You do your own thing, and like I think that's starting to click for him because like I watched his last 5 minutes at Tulsa Comedy Club, and even Roscoe hadn't seen him in like 3 months. He was like, "You look like a completely different comedian." Like,
he's been changing. He's
getting better.
growing.
Like, yeah,
he's been growing. And I think, but see, that's what I hate, but I also enjoy. I enjoy that he can do both things.
Yeah.
He can do like the crazy puppet shit,
Yeah.
but he can also do like stand-up jokes.
yeah,
I hate that he can't do what he wants to do.
yes,
But like, if he heard this, I wouldn't trip. My only advice to Trash is like, I really don't want him to stop what he's doing.
yeah,
I think if Trash, like I said, there's Joel and there's Trash, and
Yeah.
I think Trash has the bad reputation. I think could fix it.
yeah. I think so too. I think he needs to go around and be like, "Hey, I play Trash" or something like that.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, present it more as a character when I'm on stage, kind of like that. Like,
And for me, it was kind of confusing because, I know I go by the stage name of ThunderWof.
Yeah.
But I've never really looked at ThunderWof as a character.
yeah,
Whereas Trash is a character.
Yeah.
I think he can like disassociate from that character versus like I can't disassociate from ThunderWof.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's just me going by a name.
So for me personally, like, you know, I told you my real name.
Right.
When I'm on stage, I'm Jared Ralphie Allen. I'm the comedian, the podcaster. My thing is always, and again, this is just my personal philosophy. I'm really trying to take stand up like an independent wrestler or pro wrestler would. And the best pro wrestlers are the people that take their regular person and they just turn it up to 11. That's always been the phrase. You turn your fucking personality to 11, and that's your wrestling character.
And I would argue, like, I think that's how ThunderWof kind of is. Like, I think ThunderWolf's
Exactly,
just like
right?
Extremer Chaz.
Yes. All right, guys, we're back with the one and only ThunderWof. And ThunderWof, before we say goodbye, where can everybody find you at, man?
You can find me on Instagram at Apache_ThunderWof. It's tricky because the wolf does not have an L in it.
Okay.
Then _18. But yeah, if you follow the podcast on Instagram, when you tag me in posts, that'd be the easiest way to probably find me because my name is super hard to find. I don't really give out my Facebook too much. Like if I add you on Facebook, it's gonna actually, and this is not to be mean to the 30 friend requests I have from comedians. I promise it's not because I'm trying to be a dick. It's just I just don't add everyone on Facebook because I see Facebook is a little bit more intimate. But outside of that, that would be the best place. I'm an odd comedian. I'm a hermit comedian. But if you would like to kind of support ThunderWof, support Red Gothic. We just started our Instagram. It's red_gothic_. Follow that. We're going to start posting some memes over the summer.
Nice.
And then the plan is for us to turn into a sketch comedy writing group.
Nice.
At the end of the summer when I get back from out of town.
Nice, man.
So,
congratulations on that. I hope you have a great trip out of town.
Thank
you. It's been a nice talk with you, man. This has been a hell of an experience. I think, honestly, it's a great start of a great friendship.
For sure, yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah,
ThunderWof.
Yeah, either one. Yeah, ThunderWof is spelled without an L. We don't believe in carrying L's in our name.
Well, dude, this has been Unloading Meat. I'm Jared Ralphie Allen. That's ThunderWof. Peace, guys.
Unloading the meat.